Yeah, it was fun. Do you know anything about the October surprise Trump video? I know there's a rumor. That's all I know. I still haven't seen anything. I don't know. In fact, that's a good way. Like I can show you. This was something interesting that I found this morning. Let me pop this up here. So this is from Polymarket, uh, which we've talked about before, and Republicans like to talk about it. But like you can bet on anything in Polymarket. So if you can see at the top, the bet is, will Trump grope video be released before the election? It started at like 50-50, and within less than 10 minutes, it was down at around 10%. Now it's at 9%. Like, that should tell you, because these are bettors. These are people who aren't like, they're not in politics, they're not in the know, but it does give you a real peek into the mindset of who is betting on Polymarket. Like, this is one, why the fuck would you ever bet on that? That's such a weird thing to bet on. But they see it and they're like, "Oh no, I don't want this." And so a bunch of people bet. And frankly, with Polymarket, I don't know what their vig is, but they're taking a percentage. It doesn't really matter to them as long as they can get a lot of people to bet on things. So I assume that's why you put that up there. I don't know what the market is on that. We could look. Let's see what the market is. Like market size. Yeah, Matt, you can talk about this. What's up, Matt? 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 Vote would ultimately matter that much. I think Trump's going to win, but there's some shitty people on the ballot in Florida. Plus, you have abortion on the ballot, you have marijuana on the ballot. Those are all things that bring out
Well,
voters.
I did. I voted no on the abortion, and I voted yes for the marijuana.
Yeah, that's why people don't want to. That's why people don't want us to be friends. What are you doing voting against women's right to make their own choices? Why are you doing that?
Well, I just don't believe. At the end of the day, I just don't believe in the unaliving of innocent babies.
Yeah, you do.
I don't.
All right, you support our funding to Israel?
I do.
Any innocent babies lost?
Sure.
So you do support it?
No, I
Excuse me?
support Israel.
Wait, excuse me? Excuse me? Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you support it.
No, I support Israel defending itself.
Yeah, but some of that means, and by the way, defending themselves is a weird term, but babies are being killed. What about in Syria?
Well, hold on.
What about what about in Ukraine?
Why was the leader of Hamas?
No, just explain. No, we're not
in
changing
Rafah?
No, excuse me, we're not changing subjects right now. We're talking about babies right now. We're talking about babies right now. Remember, you're consistent. You care about babies. Remember, this was your argument, not mine.
I'm not pro war. Definitely not.
But you're
pro
pro support. Yeah, you're pro funding Israel. They're using that money, and babies are dying.
No, I think Israel
hospitals were blown up. Children, babies.
Because there were terrorists hiding in the hospitals. Why was the leader?
Turns out there wasn't. Funny. Turns out there wasn't. They thought that they had these underground like Batman layers, and then it turns out that didn't
That's where.
exist. Turns out,
But
no. If you looked this up, turns out there wasn't. Turns out that Hamas wasn't under those
but
hospitals.
there's no
Weird.
tunnels. Oh my
There's
gosh.
tunnels, but there was no like they weren't stationed underneath the hospital. That was a lie.
Wait, why? I just want to know. So Israel told all the civilians to go to Rafah, and then the leader of Hamas
I don't care. There's just still unaliving children, and your claim is that you care about children. You care about
I do.
Unaliving children, but you'll support things that unalive children all the time. The fact that we have millions of people in this country uninsured says you don't care about children.
Yeah, that's right. I don't believe in free healthcare.
Yeah, you don't. So you're fine. If children are dying because of war, if children are dying because they have lack of access to healthcare or food, that's all fine. But if a woman chooses to not have a child, then it's the worst thing possible.
No, it's not the worst thing possible.
But you're for all these other things that are way worse.
Well, are you for Lucky Charms?
No,
I mean,
I'm against Lucky
that makes
Charms.
no sense.
What do you mean it makes no sense? What you just said makes no sense. Are
Well,
you for
Israel,
Lucky Charms?
They kill babies.
Yeah, because you said I don't support babies dying, but you do. So it's not your real position. That's all I'm trying to say. What is your actual position? Because your position is not I don't support babies dying, because you support lots of things where babies die.
For anyone to say that you support
so explain what your real position is.
Diabolical. That's just
what's your real position then?
Say.
No. Just explain what your real position is, because I
just told you.
We've already decided you don't care about all children.
I do care about all children.
Okay, but you don't care about voting to protect all children.
I do.
No, excuse me. No, you don't.
There was nothing for me to vote on.
Israel. Yeah,
but
you can vote on people.
For me to vote on.
Sure, there is. You can vote for candidates who aren't taking AIPAC money.
Oh, like you
could vote for people who say that they would like to end that war.
Oh, they've been saying that for over a year now. We need a ceasefire. I mean, get it the fuck done then.
Yeah, but your guy's saying let's just wipe Palestine. What's so hard about a ceasefire? Getting the two sides to agree. Because Benjamin Netanyahu is not only a war criminal, but before all this kicked off, he was also just like a regular criminal. And he doesn't have to, excuse me, he doesn't have to face any consequences as long as this war keeps going. He can enact essentially martial law and keep wars going as long as he possibly can, so he doesn't have to face action. That's why a ceasefire is pretty hard to negotiate.
Why won't they give up the hostages?
Hamas doesn't want to just cede everything to Israel, and Israel wants it to keep going.
They don't want to do a ceasefire. Oh.
Yeah, both of them don't. Yeah, that's what I just said, dummy.
I mean, it's clear. It's been simple since like day one.
It's not simple. It's not simple. That's so stupid. It's not simple.
Are you ready? Are you ready? It's either give up the hostages or we keep bombing the fuck out of you. That's how it's going to go. That's how it's going to go.
Give up the hostages.
Simple, RTP.
It's not that, Matt. Just because you think things are that simple, that just shows that you're dumb.
That's simple.
No. That's as simple as that's the only way you can make sense of it, because you don't understand any of this stuff. Yeah, because you're lazy, just like all Republicans. All of you are lazy with your knowledge, and you're also lazy with like how you apply logic. Like the start of this, you said, I voted against abortion because I care about the lives of children.
The same thing
but then
Obama
we show
did.
you instances of children losing their lives and you supporting it, and you still hold to your position. There's no honesty in what you say. If you were honest, you'd be like, you know what? Yeah, that's not my position. You know what, Jay? That's not my position. But you're doubling down on it.
Obama killed more civilians than any other president.
Obama was president forever ago. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about your logic, where you said, I care about children, but I also am cool with the Israelis unaliving children.
That's so asinine to even say.
That's what I know. That's why I'm kind of flustered here. I'm like, dude, why did you say that? It is asinine.
Because I care about all children.
Except You won't do anything to stop the death of the children in Palestine, but you will absolutely try and stop abortions.
It's that the hard truth in life is that the world is an evil, disgusting place.
No, that's not the hard truth. Actually, that's a lie. That is 100% a lie that you are told by Republicans and Christians, because your entire worldview is shaped by fear. And the only way any of the stuff Republicans stand for makes any fucking sense is if you believe that everybody else is evil. It's the only way it works.
I didn't say that.
The world has never been more peaceful. We are at one of the most peaceful times in world history, and you guys are still able to be convinced that our country has like these unprecedented crime rates, that the world is at war. It is more peaceful now than virtually any other time in history. We had 2 world wars in the last century, 2 of them. There were twice that basically the whole world was at war with each other, and you're like, no, now is the most violent because there's a conflict in Ukraine and there's one in Israel. The world is not an evil place. That's just what you guys have to tell yourselves to justify your own evil actions.
World is the evil place.
You are the evil. Your party and you guys are the evil. You're the ones that are talking about deporting people. You're the ones that are talking about locking people up in internment camps. You're the people that are talking about military tribunals. You're the people that are talking about taking laws back to 1798. You are the evil, but you've been convinced that you're not. So you have to make up this world where the rest of us are evil so that your evil doesn't look so goddamn evil.
I never said you're evil.
I said it. That was me that said it. I fucking said it. Republican ideology, conservative ideology is evil. And the only way it makes any sense is if they convince you that everybody else is the problem. That's why you believe in dumb shit like a cabal and a worldwide government, and that climate change is just a way to control our minds, and that a vaccine meant to save all of us was actually really about government control. You're the most easily manipulated group of people I've ever seen in my life. You are the evil. You are the cancer. You are the problem.
Get the vaccine or get fired.
Figure it out.
What happened to my body, my choice? What happened to my body, my choice then?
You absolutely
didn't exist, right?
It does exist. You're trying to change the subject. Exist. I didn't support vaccine mandates. Who did? Who did a vaccine mandate? Who did it?
The military.
That's you can have a vaccine mandate to go to school. Those have been in existence in forever.
No, there's not.
Trump had vaccine mandates.
Yeah, for when you get vaccine when you're like a fucking baby.
No, the military already had vaccine mandates.
Yeah, no fucking shit. You get it when you so what happened
okay, so you've just always been against the military.
No, I'm not for it. It's either you get a vaccine or get fired now.
That's what it always was in the military.
But it's a Thursday.
That's what it always was in the military.
Sure, whatever.
No, not sure, whatever. Let's talk about it. Why do you think? See, this is why I say you're easily manipulated. Because why do you think that none of you gave a shit? That none of you gave a shit about the military forcing people to be vaccinated until recently. I wonder if all of you got duped by fake science. I wonder if all of you thought ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine were the real answers, and that this was just a global pandemic to take down Donald Trump. You're so easily manipulated. Like, you guys have created these new beliefs out of nowhere. They weren't beliefs that you held before.
No. But I'm just saying. Well, I came up because you were showing the whole point.
But how do you explain your lack? How do you explain your side's lack of opposition to vaccine mandates until they blamed it for Donald Trump losing? How do you explain that?
I'm not for any vaccine mandate.
But how do you explain that your party and conservatives never talked about vaccine mandates until they wanted to blame vaccine or COVID for Trump losing? How do you explain that?
Because that's why Trump exactly lost, because of COVID.
Based on what data?
Based on white women, based on
white women were going to vote for Donald Trump before COVID?
Yes.
Where's your data to back that up?
The polling data before.
Okay, well in 2018 in the midterms, you guys got blown the fuck out.
I was talking. I said before COVID, 2019.
And in 2018, That's before COVID.
Okay,
Republicans got blown the fuck out in the midterms. This is how numbers work. 18 is before 19. So what happened there? Where were all those women coming out for Republicans? Where were they?
I don't know. We'll see them this.
Okay, November, and then what happened in 2020? Kind of the same. What happened in 2022? Kind of the same. It's weird. It's almost like you guys are losing women over and over and over again, and then you just keep blaming like it's not us. It can't possibly be us that's the problem.
I mean,
it must be that everybody's cheating. It couldn't possibly be that women are like, hey, if I have to get an abortion, I don't want to die. That couldn't possibly be why you're losing them, right?
No,
of course not. Of course not, Matt.
We'll see.
I know we'll see. Everybody knows we'll see. That's how brother, that's the dumbest shit to say. This is you saying, I quit. I don't have any answers. We'll see. Of course we'll see. Everybody will see on the same day. That's like saying tomorrow is coming. Yeah, no shit. Tomorrow we'll be there. Right now, we don't know the results of elections, but after we tally the votes, then we'll know. Yeah, we will see. Everybody will see.
It doesn't matter because George is already trying to play the cheating game. They said they won't even get their votes until 18 days after the election when France doesn't.
That happens all the time. That happens all the time. What state does it in a day? What state does it in a day?
Florida does it in a day.
They do. When do they certify their election? What date does Florida certify their election?
We have the best election system in the whole entire country.
What date does Florida certify the election?
I think the same day of the election.
You think they do it on November 6th?
Maybe a day after.
You sure?
I'm just saying we have the best election system in the whole entire country.
You're the only country. You're the only state ever to have to shut down a presidential election because of fraud, and like our whole country ground to a stop because Florida is so dog shit. Well, you guys are excellent though. You're excellent.
I was 1 year old and when Georgia.
Yeah, you don't have knowledge. Idea. I know you're speaking on something you don't understand. It's pretty typical of you. It's kind of what you do. So Florida certified their election on the 17th last time. So 11 days after Election Day. How did that happen? Delaware got it done quicker. Let's see who else got it done quicker. Did it? Oh, that's the A's.
I honestly don't care. Trump's going to win Florida. It doesn't even matter.
I don't care about your opinion. I don't care about your opinion. You don't have an answer for anything, Matt. This isn't your place to come up here and every time we ask you a question, you get to talk about whatever the fuck you want.
No, I'm here to ask you a question, which you were already previously talking about.
Go ahead.
So this desperate attempt by the Kamala Harris campaign of saying, well, there's a video of Trump groping a girl. Mm-hmm. So this video wasn't released in 2016. This video wasn't released in 2020. This video wasn't.
How do you know when? Wait, we don't know. What if it happened? What if it happened 2 weeks ago?
This video wasn't released.
What if it happened?
He said he was running for president?
What if it happened a week ago?
It didn't happen a week ago.
How do you know?
I guarantee you that.
I guarantee it. There's another fucking guarantee from Matt, guys. He's speaking from the soul. How do you know? Listen, the reason I haven't...
guarantee you he never said we need generals like Hitler. I guarantee you he never said that.
The reason... Well, there's multiple people that have confirmed that. Multiple people have confirmed that, by the way. And it makes perfect sense because he quotes him all the time. And you can see Donald Trump defending that exact position multiple times. But, excuse me. Are we good? I haven't reported on the story because I don't know if it's true. I'm not giving any details out. But Matt, what does it say about you that you've already excuse me. What does it say about you, Matt, that you've already made excuses for a story that you don't know any details about? And you are already coming up with excuses. What does that say about you?
And fucking what's her name says she was raped by Trump from 30 years ago.
What does it say about you?
It says we're the party of victory and you're the party of liars and cheaters.
That's so stupid. No, what it says about you, Matt, is that no matter what happens, you are just gonna open your mouth and let Donald Trump take a dump right down your throat, and then you're gonna say, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" You and the rest of you cucks, terrific. That's great. If you like being lied to every day, and you eat it up,
Never
great.
lied to.
But some of us would rather have somebody tell us the truth. Some of us are interested in what's true. You're not. You're just like,
Buddy, just
Daddy, tell me what to do. Daddy Trump, please tell me what to think. Tell me what to say. Tell me what to do. I don't have any thoughts of my own.
You could still take the red pill. It's not too late.
I'm not stupid.
Not too late,
That's
buddy.
the problem. The problem with taking the red pill is it only works if you're stupid.
Okay.
I read things. I'm literate. I do research. There's no such thing as a red pillar with accurate information. With accurate information, I said. You gotta wait till the end.
It's the whole Republican Party.
Yeah, and they're all lying, all of them. Everything they say is a lie, and you don't care. You're just like, I love it when you lie to me. Lie to me harder. Oh, Donnie, lie to me harder, Donnie. You literally had Tucker Carlson calling Trump daddy last night and begging for spankings. Your party's a joke. And even if you win, all that tells us is like there's way more cucks in this country than we knew about.
We're winners.
Like I didn't know there were this many cucks, but apparently it's a big thing. You want to talk about Tucker Carlson calling Trump daddy and talking about being spanked like the bad children that we are? Donald needs to come spank us.
I mean, just so many desperate attempts on the last 12 days.
Yeah, I know. It's not. I'm quoting you something Tucker Carlson said. I'm quoting you something Tucker Carlson. You want to watch the video?
No, I watched the video.
We'll watch the video.
I'm not talking about Tucker.
Yeah, shut up. We're watching the video.
I'm not.
I don't care.
Okay.
We're watching the video because I want you to tell me. I want to talk about why you guys are all suddenly such a big bunch of cucks. What happened to you? What happened to your pride? What happened happened to the alpha males? How did all the alpha males get cucked at the same time? What happened? How'd that happen? You guys were just all watching Rogan one day, and then you're like, you know, it'd make Rogan better if we just like maybe we do like a circle jerk, and then maybe we just Rogan said to take some Alpha Brain, maybe we take Alpha Brain. Ivermectin, sign me up. Like, is that what happened?
He was completely right. He schooled that Indian fucker who came on CNN.
Here's Tucker.
To light a joint at the breakfast table. If you allow your hormone-addled 15-year-old daughter to like slam the door of her bedroom and give you the finger, you're going to get more of it. And those kids are going to wind up in rehab. It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which dad comes home.
Oh, yeah! The crowd goes crazy. Yeah! Daddy! 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 Woo! Tell us what to do! Right. Tell us what to think!
Dad comes home.
Cry. Because Daddy's coming home.
And he's pissed.
Daddy!
Dad is pissed.
Dad is mad.
He's not vengeful. He loves his children.
He loves
Disobedient as they may be,
even if
he
you're
loves
disobedient,
them.
Matt.
Because they're his children. They live in his house.
You live in Trump's
But he's very
house.
disappointed in their behavior.
He doesn't
and he's
like
going to
what
have
you're
to
doing.
let them know. He's going to have to get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And
punish us harder, Daddy.
It's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl. And it has to be this way. It has to be this way because it's true. And you're only going to get better when you take responsibility for what you did.
Yeah, Matt.
That's not said in the spirit of hate. It's not said in the spirit of vengeance or bigotry. Far from it. It's said in the spirit of justice, which is the purest and best thing there is.
All right, Matt. I muted you a while ago, but what do you think about the cuck convention down there in Georgia? You loved it. How much would you pay? How much would you pay for Donald Trump to spank you like bare-assed?
I would never do that.
You wouldn't pay? Because you would let him do it. I mean, you let him lie. Listen, brother, you let him lie right to your face every day. You let him tell you things that you repeat to others that are so stupid that like 10 years from now,
Right,
you'll
I'm
just
just the
lie about it.
chief.
You
I'm the chief,
100%, you 100% would let him spank you. I'm just
I'm the
wondering, what if all your other friends were already in line? They're like, dude, it's just $25 and daddy spanks us. He'll even call you a bad girl. What do you think about that?
If he calls
Daddy
me a
could
bad
call
girl,
you a bad girl?
I might be in for that. If he
You
calls
might
me
be
a
into
bad
that.
girl, I might be
Yeah.
into that.
Awesome.
We'll have to see, but it's just so many
cool
desperate attempts.
party you got. Don't talk to me about desperate.
So many
you don't
desperate
get
attempts
to insult me when this is happening.
after
Like
over and over
don't.
and over
This
again.
guy gets proven guilty every time. That's the
Doesn't-
crazy
and-
thing.
and
you
his poll
guys
numbers
are like
go up.
nothing
And his
ever
poll
sticks.
numbers go
Nothing
up.
ever sticks. Yeah, because you guys
And
are
his
dumb.
poll numbers go up.
Yes, because you guys are all dumb. All of you.
His poll-
Every
you-
fucking one of you is
but
dumb.
you were gonna vote for Biden.
He gets convicted of fraud.
But you were gonna vote
He's
for
a
Biden.
34-time felon, and you guys are like, more daddy, more daddy, more crimes, please. He abused a woman. Oh, we love that. We love when he abuses
But you
women.
were gonna vote for
Impeached
Biden.
twice.
Talk about
I
cheap.
love when he gets impeached. Civil fraud for $500 million. Oh, give me more of that, daddy. Completely funded by the Russians and the Saudis and does their
Never
bidding.
happened.
I love it when Putin tells our daddy what to do and then daddy tells us what to do and then pretends it's not coming directly from Putin. Oh, give me more.
Russia. Here, it all comes back to Russia in 2016.
Yeah, it does. And you guys
right?
still don't know that
Yeah.
Russia was involved. It's so easy to fool
It
you.
all came back.
It's so easy to fool you that when all the evidence is lined up, you're like, I wonder what I should believe. And Trump goes, Russia. It's so unfair. And you're like, there it is. That's the answer. Daddy told us that's the answer. Fuck all the evidence. Daddy said it's wrong. Daddy said Russia. And I'm here. You're a grown-ish man, Matt. And you are here 4 years later repeating word for word what Daddy told you to say. Word for word. How
Never
programmable are you? You're talking about everybody else being desperate. You guys all go out and just repeat everything he says. Like,
you were going to vote for Biden.
I was, and he has never been
convicted
convicted of a crime. He's never been convicted of a crime. He's never been impeached.
Yeah, no shit, because he's president.
That's the difference. That's the difference. Donald
he's
Trump has.
We all know he's going to pardon Hunter.
Trump has. His son
we
didn't
all know
pay,
he's going to pardon crackhead Hunter.
His son didn't pay his taxes. You want to talk about crackhead sons? You don't know about Don Jr.'s drug problem? How about that? How about you tell me why Don Jr. How about you tell me why Don Jr. didn't talk to his dad for 5 years?
Hooker loving Hunter. That's what he is.
I don't care.
Hooker loving crackhead Hunter.
Listen, I'm pro sex work.
Who puts it on a fucking laptop?
I'm
you want
pro
to see the
sex
videos?
work. I'm also pro do whatever drugs you want. But explain to me why Don Jr. didn't talk to his daddy for 5 years. What happened there?
You want to see the videos of Hunter?
What happened for 5 years? Listen, no, I'm not going to sit here and watch
I have the videos.
I'm not going to. I'm sure you do, but nobody's interested in you beating off on this live stream. So we're going to go back to Don Jr. now and explain to me why Don Jr. didn't talk to his dad for 5 years.
What years?
When he from like 13 to 18.
I have no idea. I was not even born.
I could tell you.
Idea.
It's because his dad kept cheating on his mom and then roasting her in the press.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened. He not only did he cheat on his mom, but then he had a very public
and then he got spanked
affair,
by Stormy Daniels, right?
And then he smeared her in the press. And if I was a child and my dad was smearing my mother in the press,
did you learn that from the Apprentice
knowing what they did, I would be upset.
Did you learn that from the Apprentice movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, we all know what I'm talking about.
Nobody ever knows what you're talking about, Matt. You're dumb.
Smear campaign movie coming out right before the election. A little smear campaign.
I haven't seen it. Did you see it?
No, I'm not watching that garbage.
Then how did you know? Then how do you know if that's in there?
Smear campaign.
Yeah. See, Matt. Here's the fun thing. Here's the fun thing about you, and this is probably the last time I'm going to take your call.
And that's why the movie
this is the last time I'm going to take your call, Matt, because I want you to know something. I want you to know that I know who you are. I know, Matt, that you actually don't believe any of this stuff. You're just a white nationalist. And Matt, when I say I know who you are, I want you to know, Matt, I know who you are.
I'm a white nationalist.
No, Matt, listen to me. I know who you are.
Yeah, you're right.
No. Not like we've talked and I know your type. I mean, Matt, I know who you are, and you're a white nationalist. And your job,
Oh
and
yeah,
your
I'm a
job,
white
not
I'm also a
your
racist and a
entire, yes, you're
misogynist, and
also a
I'm also a
racist and a
sexist,
misogynist.
and
But I know who you are, and I know that you do this just to be a
so
provocateur,
desperate.
just
You're
to be a
desperate.
provocateur. And you can call me desperate all you want, Matt, but I know who you are. You don't know who I am. You have no clue. You guys, just so you guys know, Matt, it's
Welcome
not
back
that. Just so you
insults.
know, Matt, the groups you run in. You're not that hard to track. You're not that hard to find.
But come
Just so you
find me
know.
then.
Just so, well, no, I
I
know where
go to the
where you
local.
are. I know
I
where
go
you
to the
are.
local Moose Club every Tuesday with the white
I
nationalists.
know
You
exactly
loser.
who you are. Yeah, you and your white nationalist buddies. Now you're admitting it. Oh shit,
Yeah,
Matt.
I go to the
Oh
local
shit.
Moose Club every Tuesday and
It's
put my hood
it's
on.
not a local moose club. You can deflect all you want, but do you want to talk
The
about your
local
white
Moose
nationalist
Club.
buddies? Do you want to
Yeah, let's do it.
while the
Yeah.
people are tell us about your white nationalist buddies.
Yep. But we all go to the local Moose Club. We
No,
have
tell
a
the
few
truth,
beers.
Matt. No,
We put our
Matt, tell the
hoods
truth,
on,
bud. Matt, tell the truth.
and we scream. We hate women. We hate women.
All right, Matt. Now it's time for you to tell the truth, or you got to go. Tell us the truth about your white nationalist buddies.
I just told you.
All right, buddy.
We go to the local Moose
See you
Club.
later.
Have a couple.
See you later. Yeah, Matt is exactly who you think he is, just so you know. Exactly who you think he is. Yeah, Jen, can you block Matt? I'm done with Matt. I'm only talking to people who really want to actually have a debate and not just change the subject over and over and over. I dropped him. Yeah. No, listen, I don't dox people. It's actually weird how I know where Matt came from. It's interesting how I found that out, but I would never do that. But Matt knows. Matt knows the people that know who he is too. I'm not the first person to call Matt out. I don't understand calling us Proud Boys without the proud part. Let me check comments. Just so you know, like when they talk about desperation, listen to the desperation in their voice. Listen to what they're desperate to do. Desperate is them every time we play a video or read an article that's counter to what they like, they change the subject. That's desperation. Jessica said, I'm not reading that first part, but Matt wants to get spanked so bad his pants are wet. Jumar, thank you for the donation for Matt's spanking. Matt, we're fundraising for you. Breathe, Double Daddy, breathe. Sorry, I was ready. I got fired up this morning watching. I went to the For You page on Twitter this morning. It's never a good sign. That's never a good decision before a show because it's just like dumb after dumb after dumb after dumb. Sal says it takes you 15 minutes to go down on a banana. Yeah, Sal, it takes me a lot. My internet was out this morning, so I put this all together like last minute. I couldn't get my internet to work. Armando says Matt's a typical conservative, only cares about a fetus, but once it's born, the child needs to figure itself out. He's not. Matt is not a typical conservative. Matt is part of the incel community. Whether he is that or is not that, they're just a bunch of women haters. On behalf of all Matts, we don't claim him. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. You are Matthew. You are distinguished. Jessica says, do it again. Say lie to me and spank me harder, please. If we get more MAGA, I think that's what we're going to do today is we're going to make them watch Tucker Carlson talk about spanking them. Sal says, wish you'd come home and spank me, daddy. Maybe after the election, Sal. We'll see how things go. Sal just added the last couple of minutes into my spank bank. Thank you. Let me add this up. All right. Should we watch? Do you guys want to watch Tucker Carlson again one more time? Who wants to watch Tucker Carlson again one more time? Let's watch it one more time. If you're just getting here, we're watching it. Sorry, I have to do it. Yeah, we're watching it.
If you allow your 14-year-old to light a joint at the breakfast table, if you allow your hormone-addled 15-year-old daughter to like slam the door of her bedroom and give you the finger, you're going to get more of it. And those kids are going to wind up in rehab. It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which dad comes home.
That's the part of it that to me is the craziest is that that's the applause line. Like, that's the thing that gets all these people standing up. Like, this is why we say fascism. This is what fascists do. When you talk about like disciplining the bad people, and that's the thing that makes you the most excited, that's what fascists do. That's why we keep saying you're fascist. Because of this. If you don't want to be fascist, explain to me why you have a crowd filled with people cheering at Dad's coming home.
Yeah, that's right. Dad comes home. And he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's not vengeful. He loves his children.
Except for Trump keeps saying vengeance. He's using the hashtag vengeance. That's crazy. They all show up and they're like, it's not vengeance. It's not. Yeah, we know he says vengeance, but every time Trump speaks, you have to change what he says. You can't use his words, because if a normal person uses Trump's words, all of us are like, that's fucked up. But there's this whole different set of rules for Donald Trump. It's just like, oh, he can say anything. And no matter what he says, we're just going to like turn it into what we want it to be instead. He's saying vengeance all the time. If you go look at his truths, like vengeance, it's like hashtag vengeance all the time.
Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children. They live in his house. But he's very
See how he talks about children, by the way, like for the parents out there. I mean, I remember my parents saying that this is my house, my rules. That's one thing. But like this idea that children are property is such a like a widely accepted view by Republicans. They really do view their children as an extension of themselves and a piece of their property. It's frankly like, and when you're in a cult like this, like that's why a lot of us that have left cults, like most people who leave a cult, it's very rare that they have any sort of relationship with their family if their family is still in the cult. Most of the times it takes their family coming out of their cult to have relationships again. And it's because of this type of feeling. It's this parents think that like you making choices in your beliefs is somehow an extension of them. And it's viewed by the other cult members as a failure. Like if you show up, if I show up to Utah and somebody were to ask me what I did and I was like, I'm a TikTok creator and I cover liberal politics and I'm an atheist. Like my dad would be devastated. Not that he already knows that. He would be devastated that his friends, his other cult members knew that. Right? And that's what they're projecting here. Is that these folks think that like Tucker Carlson, his kids aren't conservative. They're probably embarrassed of their dad. And this is just him saying like, what the fuck, kids? You're supposed to do what I said. And this is him just like dreaming that he could have that type of control over his children, the same control that Vladimir Putin has over him.
Disappointed in their behavior. And he's going to have to let them know. He's going to have to get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl, and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And
why is all the violence in this directed at women? Like, we're talking about kids. It was a teenage daughter that gave you the bird, and that's probably a real story. And if Tucker was my dad, I'd tell him to fuck off too. But why is it always a girl? Why are we spanking a little girl here?
No, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this.
I'm going to hurt you. You're my child, and you earned this. And it's not going to hurt me. In fact, I really probably won't care. I kind of like it. All these folks here, like, they love this shit. All these older parents right now that are sitting in there, all these Fox News parents whose kids think they're crazy. They're like, I should have spanked that motherfucker. My dad told me that the last time I had a real conversation with my dad. My dad told me, I wish I would have never let you do any of the things that you like to do. I wish that I would have never let you play sports. I wish I wouldn't have let you go out in the summers and do the stuff. Like, I wish I would have just forced you to go to school. That's 2 years ago. I'm 36 years old at the time. 2 years ago. This is the kind of shit that they think about because they are in such a cult and they're whipped up into such a frenzy that they think their kids are the ones that aren't seeing things clearly. Our kids, they've lost it. They've got the woke mind virus. No, this is fucking weird. You're up on a stage calling another human daddy and talking about how hypothetically daddy needs to come home and spank us. That's fucking weird. That's why people's kids are like, I'm not doing this shit with you anymore. This is crazy. This is weird. This is strange. This is frightening, frankly. If that's my dad, my grandkids are never going to be with him alone. Ever, 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 ever. And the crowd fucking loves it because these are all people in the crowd. The people that show up at Trump rallies, they lost their friends, they lost their families. They have found a new family in the cult, in the MAGA cult. And one of the things that bothers me, and I think it's like this happens in a lot of places, but people lose their family, and then the group that they join becomes the family that they lost. The problem is when you wind up in a situation like this, where your family is led by one person. Like that's the culty stuff, right? You know that I think it was Netflix. They did that documentary about the TikTok dancers, that group of like Christian kids that were TikTok dancers. And at first, like you heard what they said about the leader. He was like, oh, he's so great. Like he's helping us accomplish our dreams. He's giving us a sense of purpose. He's bringing us closer to God. And then like 4 years later, they're like, the accusations against him are completely false. The only reason people are bringing up these accusations is because they're bitter. Jim Jones, same thing. Everybody's like, oh, he's wonderful. We're going to go have this paradise away from America, and we're going to live how we want to live. And then like 4 years later, like, no, he totally doesn't beat us. He totally isn't leading us with an iron fist. Everything's fine. Warren Jeffs, the polygamous leader. At first, the polygamists were living just like they lived polygamy, but then they're just their normal lives. And then slowly but surely, they took away rights. And then Warren Jeff is like basically handing out child brides to his buddies, stealing money. And then everybody in that cult's like, the only reason that people are against him is because he's right. And he's exposing the world for how evil it is. When I talk to my friends and my family, yeah, Waco. How about Waco? What's that guy's name again? The Branch Davidians guy? Shit, why can't I remember his name? Same thing. The most devastating, honestly, like the most I think I've ever cried at something that like, yeah, it's probably the most I've ever cried. I'm going to be David Koresh. Thank you. Was watching that documentary. And what made me cry was probably something different than I think what most people would have thought. Like the most impactful part for me was you watch the buildup. It's horrific. Women, children, men, they died in a horrific fire. And that's all horrible. And to me, that like gave me hatred towards David Koresh. I'm like, this guy, he fucking knew. He fucking knew, and he wouldn't tell the people that he wasn't Jesus. But the worst part was, after that, the music comes on. It's like a little bit darker music, and they interview 3 people that were there. 3 people that escaped. And they all said, yeah, no, David Koresh was right. David Koresh is the Son of God. I still believe that David Koresh did the right thing. And this is like 30 years later. And that's when I was just like, whoa. How the fuck? Like, that's when you lose a little bit of faith in humanity. When the answers are right in front of your face. And you can't find a way to address them. That's how I felt watching this Turning Point thing yesterday. It's like, goddamn, this is like, we're in a different place now. This isn't 2016 Trump. This isn't 2020 Trump. This isn't 2022 Trump. This is straight fascism. This is a man speaking to the American public of one party who is wholly owned, bought and paid for by Russian propaganda media. Vladimir Putin owns him. It's proven. His Rumble numbers suck. His Twitter numbers suck. His YouTube numbers suck. They're not real. Even if you look at the peak of Rumble, they pump those views in, and there's not a lot of advertising revenue with Rumble. He's not keeping up, and he's not making all of this money because of his views. He doesn't have a contract with Fox that's paying him anymore. Where do we think he's getting that money? And that's where we're at. We're at a place now where a Russian propagandist, 2 weeks before the election, in a swing state, is speaking to the largest crowd Trump's talked to in a while, spewing nonsense like, "Daddy, please come save us. Come spank us." That's what's crazy. You said, why does it sound like you think Trump is going to win? If you think that's what I'm saying, like, I don't know if you're a Trump or dance on to NJ. I don't know if you're like a Trump person, but if you think that's what I'm saying, then I'm worried about you now. Because I think this is what Matt did too. No matter what anybody says, you will come up with whatever meaning you want. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm not saying that. Trump wins or loses. I'm not even making a prediction. If Trump loses, these people still exist. And if Trump leaves, it creates a vacuum. It's just like it's exactly like the regime change wars we see in the Middle East. When you give power to one person or one small entity, and then that person is removed, it creates a vacuum, and somebody has to come fill it. And my concern is that there's people like Tucker Carlson, that there might be people like, frankly, Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk. Those people would have no problem stepping in and filling that vacuum with the same type of hatred. That's what I'm more afraid. JD Vance. I don't think, maybe they'd follow JD Vance, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, look, we should be fair. Look, every election, about 2 weeks before, the Republicans are overconfident and the Democrats are terrified that they're going to lose. It's just what we do. We prepare differently. Republicans prepare for the worst because they can't handle bad news, and so they just prepare to win. And then when they lose, they just pretend they didn't lose. And then Democrats were like, we prepare to lose, and then we win, and then we're like, we didn't win enough states. It was too close to call. Why wasn't it all 50 states? And then if we won 50 states, we'd be like, how did we only get? How did Republicans get 20% of the vote in Alabama? And then the next time, it doesn't matter. We're gonna complain. They're going. We're gonna always think we underperformed. They're always gonna think they overperformed. This is pretty typical. I think the polls look pretty similar to how the polls looked with Obama and Romney. That went well. Romney was up 2 weeks with 2 weeks left in a lot of major polls. I looked this morning. ABC had him up. There was another. Who was the other one that was big that had him up? Washington or New York Times, I think, had him up. So yeah, like this is pretty typical for where the polls are at. But my real concern, honestly, is that people like Tucker Carlson are front and center at these rallies. Like if this was Nikki Haley and it was neck and neck, let's just be honest with ourselves. If it was neck and neck with Nikki Haley, we would all still be like, oh, we can't let Nikki Haley win. But if she won, we'd be okay. I mean, like, there'd be some shit we didn't like. Certainly wouldn't fix abortion, but like we wouldn't be fascist. We would be like, we'd be okay. We can get through Nikki Haley, and we'd have to undo some shit later. But we'd be fine. The problem with Trump is if he does 1/10 of what he says he wants to do, we're in a lot of trouble. Let's keep going with Turning Point. This was more Tucker Carlson, if you guys can stomach it. This one won't be as overtly sexual. I think Tucker lost his boner.
So here's my perspective. I think Donald Trump's going to win, which is amazing. And that's why I'm here. I'm not here because he's going to win. I'm here because I'm so thrilled by what I've watched over the past 9 years. This is the end of a redemption arc. I've really never seen anybody treated like Donald Trump was treated, ever. Anybody, ever. Attack him. I watched this all up close. Defame him. Indict him.
Okay, the first two he does to Kamala all the time. The third one, yeah, that happens when you're a criminal.
Arrest him. Let him get
Again,
shot
you're a criminal.
in the face.
Don't think he did not get shot in the face. And what do you mean let him? What do you mean by that? He scheduled an outdoor rally. He had Secret Service there. Yeah, what do you mean let him? Like, this is what's crazy about these claims. See what I mean? Like, they just can't ever tell you something true. They can't ever just be like, Donald Trump, a lot of people criticize him because he was indicted, because he was impeached. People wonder what happened with the assassination. Like, why did somebody shoot at him? That would be a fair way to frame what he's saying. And in fact, if we have a Republican come up to defend these statements, they won't use the words Tucker uses. They won't use the words Trump uses. They will use their own words to soften it. It's what I see you, why not, and Guy Fawkes. If you guys want to hang out for a second.
And he's gonna win anyway.
What is this? What the fuck? He might. Maybe he got his erection back. That was a quick finish. Why not? Welcome.
Is that best ones or
why not? Hello, friend. Why not? All right. Why not come back when another time? What's up, Guy? God damn it. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to deal with you today. I don't have a lot of patience. I apologize in advance.
Max,
all right, go ahead.
5 minutes max.
It's our day. It's our daily. Tell me why Israel's great, or our monthly.
No. We're not talking about Israel right now.
Thank God.
Listen, this is the topic at hand right now. I think that look, Tucker Carlson is a muppet, right? He's a cartoon character, and I think.
I thought you were saying he was a muppet, like a puppet, like Vladimir Putin was controlling what he said. Because then I would agree.
A muppet is a British term, actually. He's a clown, right? But I think you're conflating fascism with entertainment populism, which both him
What's
and
the difference?
Trump, because entertainment populism, they're speaking to a target audience that their messaging resonates with. But can you tell me exactly how Trump was a fascist between 2016 and 2020?
No.
Exactly.
So, can you tell me all the ways that Schmittler was a fascist pre-1930?
I mean,
pre-19, let's say 28.
No. I mean, but
yeah. What about Mussolini?
Trump was president. Trump was president between 2016 and 2020.
I know.
So explain to me during his tenure how he was a fascist.
Because he surrounded him with there were people around him that would say no.
What do you mean he surrounded himself with people who say no? You mean yes?
There were people around him that would say no, and now he's gotten rid of all of them.
Oh, okay. So you think that this time around he surrounded himself with complete yes men lackeys who are going to say yes to everything?
Yeah. Otherwise, how do you is
a yes man or Vivek or
no.
Even Tulsi
Vivek,
Gabbard
yes.
and
Vivek, yes. Tulsi, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Tulsi?
Yeah. Tulsi has been taking right-wing money for like a decade now, pretending to be a leftist, and now she has switched sides. She was always on that side. Yeah, the money talks, dude. Like that. Are we going to ignore the fact that like we have maybe billionaire at the top of the ticket, a tech VC backed by billionaires is the VP, and the most prominent person out there advocating for him is another billionaire, and they're like, we know what's best for the working class.
RFK Jr.
No, I was thinking Elon's a better spokesman than
RFK
Jr.
I know. But I'm saying that RFK Jr. is just one more of the list of people who supports it. Tulsi Gabbard, another
millionaire. Yeah, well, of course she supported Bernie in 2016.
Why, of course? Why did she have to? She sacrificed her entire career. She was a rising star in the DNC.
Because like everybody else knows, she was not a rising star ever. That's revisionist history, dude.
Are you serious?
That's fucking. Where was she a rising star?
I'll give you my perspective. You ready?
Yeah,
she's a young woman of color from Hawaii, Democrat, soldier, all right, major in the army, who was an elected position within the DNC as I think it was either co-chair or vice chair. I don't remember which one is elected. She was a rising star within the Democratic Party. There's any way to look at it other than that.
When
They
she
were grooming
left?
her toward. No, obviously not when she left. By the time she left, they had ostracized her and alienated her
Yeah, why?
because she joined Bernie Sanders and she
No,
snubbed
try
Hillary
again.
Clinton.
Wait, excuse me.
Yes,
She was on no, she was running for president.
No. I'm talking about in 2016 when she gave up her position within the DNC in order to join Bernie's campaign. She gave up that elected position.
Yeah, you can't hold both positions.
Fine, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that her actions in 2016 supporting Bernie had basically ostracized her from the party and the community. And then the next time around in 4 years when she was running, she was snubbed completely, wasn't allowed to debate, wasn't really
She was
allowed
on
to
the debate
participate.
stage. What the fuck are you talking about?
In 2020, dude, they removed her ability to be on the debate stage, I believe, in the third or
You have to hit you have to hit certain polling numbers.
They changed the criteria in mid stride.
They did? When did they change?
They did. All right, I'm gonna show you because I remember I followed this closely back when it was going on, and I'm like, wow, they're really doing her dirty. 2020 debate criteria. You can look it up. I'm
looking it up, and here's what I find: Tulsi Gabbard's campaign wants the DNC to change the debate qualifying polls, to revise its list. There was a list of polls that you had to qualify for, and she wanted an updated list, one where she did qualify. According to the criteria that the DNC set forth, 2020 candidates must meet the donor threshold of 130,000 unique donors, 2% in 4 DNC qualified polls. Gabbard team is citing that they describe as no, they didn't. Gabbard team is citing what they describe as several irregularities in the selection and timing of the DNC sponsored polls. She questioned the polls.
She questioned the criteria.
No,
and she had an issue with it because
the Gabbard team is citing what they describe as several irregularities in the selection and timing of the DNC-sponsored polls. The campaign points out Gabbard has exceeded 2% support in 26 polls, but only 2 of them are on the DNC's certified list. In the press release that they said, the campaign says many of the uncertified polls, including those conducted by highly reputable organizations such as The Economist, Boston Globe, are ranked by Real Clear Politics and 538 as more accurate than some DNC polls. Now, that's a fair argument. I'm not saying she doesn't have a fair argument. I'm saying what you said isn't true. She wanted them to change the rules. They didn't change the rules to keep her off the stage. This is a lie that everybody tells once they leave the DNC. RFK told the same lie, and she told the same lie.
I'm reading a Political article from January 31st, 2020, where it outlines the Democratic National Committee is drastically revising its criteria to participate in primary debates after New Hampshire, doubling the polling threshold and eliminating the individual donor requirement, which could pave the way for former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg to make the stage beginning in mid-February. So they did change, and here's some of the
but it had nothing to but they didn't change it for Tulsi. They changed it after to try and get Bloomberg in the race.
And you don't see a problem with that, changing it?
No, I do have a problem with that. I have a problem with your framing. You're trying to pretend that listen, we didn't have to do shit to get Tulsi off the debate stage. Nobody liked her. Her polling numbers were dog shit. Just like RFK, just like Marianne Williamson, just like Dean Phillips. And you know what's interesting? All of them always say the same thing. It's rigged. No, we don't fucking like you. Because RFK was clearly a Republican plant. Tulsi was clearly a Republican plant. Marianne Williamson was wine drunk all the time and made no sense. And nobody gives a shit about Dean Phillips.
You're diminishing them as insurgent nominees, candidates who appealed to disenfranchised Democrats.
Bro, Tulsi Gabbard spent most of her media time during the Obama years criticizing Obama on Fox News.
No,
she's not speaking.
She's not. Timeline is off.
What?
During that time, she didn't have the type of position that she's had with Fox News over the last, let's say, 4 to 5 years. It's not true.
No, it's elevated now. Yeah, for sure it's elevated now. But she was on Fox News criticizing Obama. She
wants to get paid. She was their
go-to to criticize Obama. And what she criticized him for, which is ironic, is his consistent actions in the Middle East. And she's like, stop this. We have to stop these regime change wars. We need to stop undeclared wars. We can't keep drone striking the fuck out of people. And then Donald Trump comes in and does more drone strikes, and she just goes quiet. She just shuts the fuck up for 4 years. I'm not going to say shit about this anymore. I no longer care about undeclared regime change wars. Now I'm Trump.
I mean, we could say the same about AOC and her kind of like popular, her progressive movement.
Wait, but hold on. We can go to AOC in a second. Wait, hold on. We can go to AOC in a second, but let's stay on point.
Sure.
Yes or no, she abandoned her entire criticism of Obama when Trump was president.
I don't know. I didn't follow the news on a daily basis. So
Did you watch her debate?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, she was debating on regime change wars and undeclared wars. That the one thing I liked about Tulsi Gabbard, because that was when I was like becoming, I was a libertarian at the time, but I'm watching those, and like at first Tulsi was my person because I'm like, oh, I like what she's saying about undeclared wars and regime change. Like I do actually think that I think she was right about that. I don't disagree with her, which is also why like her and Bernie Sanders had common ground. But as soon as she was off the stage, she just stopped talking about it. Her one thing, the one through line she had for Democrats, she just abandoned it completely when she went to the right.
I don't know what it goes back. Well, I mean, first of all, I don't know exactly what you expect from her. She didn't have a platform outside of being a contributor.
I would expect her to go on Fox News and criticize Donald Trump for
great.
drone strikes.
So she's not the perfect candidate, but to frame her as a Republican plant or whatever other
Russian
you want
plant.
to put.
Russian.
Yeah. Russian. She's Russian dead. Come on now. Really? You are better than that.
Well then why did she take
the US military? She's been a congresswoman.
Give me a good reason that a former member of Congress, give me one good reason a former member of Congress who isn't in the private sector is getting money from Russia.
How is Tulsi Gabbard getting money from Russia?
You should look this shit up. Are you unaware of this?
I am not aware of this. Money from Russia, really?
Yep.
Come on, man.
I don't know why this. I don't know. Like, you know how we say like, oh,
how is she getting money
hold
from
on,
Russia?
real quick. Let me just explain. You know how we say that like all politicians get money, like they all take money from special interests?
Sure.
Okay. All Republicans take money from Russia. It's the same thing. It's 100% true. It's been proven time and time again. Russian money is pumping through the GOP. It's pumped through Donald Trump's campaign.
Can you elaborate and actually?
How do you not know this? Yeah, I can.
First of all, foreign actors cannot contribute to U.S. elections. That's illegal.
Yes, they can.
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
I think you're wrong.
Through super PACs. Because you don't have to those super PACs aren't required to disclose. You remember, what's his face? What's the guy that was running around with Giuliani in Ukraine? Shit, what's his name? Somebody help me with his name. Lev Parnas. Thank you, guys. Lev Parnas has testified to this. And Lev Parnas and many other associates got caught funneling money directly from Russia into super PACs for Trump. Paul Manafort pled guilty because he was on the Russian payroll while he was running Trump's campaign.
What super PACs contributed to, or what super PACs were in favor of Tulsi Gabbard? Because you said that they fund Tulsi Gabbard. I'm looking at opensecrets.com, right? Everybody knows that, .org, excuse me. You know, they're very, very good due diligence to expose these people. And I'm looking at the contributions directly to Tulsi Gabbard in the 2020 election cycle. You got the U.S. Army, you got Alphabet Inc., you got University of California, Apple, U.S. Navy, U.S. Postal Service, down the line, Microsoft.
These are,
nowhere does it show
these
super PAC.
I know, because these are campaign contributions.
Okay, what are you talking about? You're talking about super PACs.
Do you know what a super PAC? Yeah, do you know what a super PAC does?
I know what they do. I know what PACs do.
Okay, so can
for example,
can a super PAC fund somebody's like campaign stops?
Fund someone's campaign? No, they can't.
Yeah, so like if you needed to rent out Madison Square Garden, well, do you see this picture above me?
Yeah.
What does that say behind Tucker Carlson?
Turning Point USA, or whatever it is.
They paid for that. They paid for a Trump rally yesterday.
That's not a super PAC, though.
Well, sure, but super PACs can, right? These political action committees can't.
The political action committees cannot coordinate with the candidates. That's one of the rules.
How did they host a campaign? This is a Trump rally in Georgia.
Turning Point isn't a super PAC, though. Turning Point's qualifier or whatever they're identifying is something else. They're a media company or there's something else. Turning Point USA. What do I Google?
Yeah, but
here?
what I'm saying, listen. What I'm saying is, you can't send your money like for Trump. So whoever wanted to pay for this, let's just say in this scenario,
they're non-profit organization, bro. You have to understand what their classification is.
I'm not calling everybody a super PAC. I'm explaining how this works. So in this situation in Georgia, let's say a Russian oligarch wants to fund this, okay, and they're like, yeah, I'll pay for it. How would they accomplish that?
I'm assuming a direct contribution to the nonprofit.
Yeah.
But that's not a super PAC.
I'm not saying it's just super PACs. I'm saying if you look at the money surrounding Tulsi Gabbard, you look at the events she's been paid to speak at, you specifically CPAC, like not Turning Point USA, but CPAC, tons of Russian money is funneled through CPAC and it pays its speakers. Why would Russia pay for Tulsi Gabbard to speak?
I mean, that's where you start connecting the dots as if she's doing their bidding. They're paying her because her messaging resonates with their interests.
Okay, why did they give $200,000 a video to Tim Pool and Dave Rubin? Why are they paying Jordan Peterson?
Because their messaging resonates with the interests of those people. That's why.
And who's their messaging direct? Who's like, let's pick Tim Pool. Who is his messaging directed at?
Young conservative, incels.
Incels? Yeah. Who did Tim Pool? Now, when Tim Pool didn't have money, what did he talk about?
Probably the same nonsense bullshit.
Nah, you know where he got his start?
I don't know. I never followed him.
Occupy Wall Street.
No shit. Okay.
And then he was an investigative journalist. Like, I think he went, I want to say maybe Syria. I can't remember where he went. And then all of a sudden in 2016, Tim Pool went from independent, him and Jimmy Dore at the same time. They went from independent to I'm an independent, but I'm only going to talk shit about liberals and I'm going to boost Donald Trump. And then like 3 years later, now they have quadruple the money and they're just in Trump's pocket.
Great.
How'd that happen? And then
celebrities do it for money. Why is that?
And they got their money. Wait, but hold on. And they got their money from Russia. Russia paid them.
I mean, that's how you're looking at it. Russia paid them. I think that
Russia paid. Do you know about Tenet Media?
No, I've never heard of Tenet Media.
Okay, Tenet Media. You got to look this shit up. Tenet Media is a Canadian company. They're completely funded by RT. You know who RT is, right?
Yeah, Russia Today.
Yes, they fund Tenet Media. Tenet Media went and started approaching all these conservative content creators and said, hey, we're going to give you 100,000, 200,000 per video. Tim Pool is putting out one video a week that he was already putting out. So it's a video that he already put out. Tenet Media was going to put it on their page, but Tim could also put it on his page. So they didn't even have exclusive rights to Tim's videos. Most people are going to watch it at Timcast IRL, and they give him 200,000 per video. The views are dog shit. They don't do well. They do all right on Tim Pool's. And then all of a sudden, Tim Pool starts saying things like, Ukraine is the enemy. Well, what's wrong with Russia? Why are we picking on Russia? Dave Rubin does the same thing. You can watch, last night, Dave Rubin was on Piers Morgan, and they're still doing it. The Russia, Russia, Russia. All Republicans say, there's no problem with Russia. And yet, Russia, I covered it yesterday. I'm sure you weren't here. Russia has basically kept Trump out of bankruptcy multiple times. When he fucked up in Atlantic City, the Russian mafia is the one who propped him back up. They bought dozens of apartments at higher than retail price. The Russian mafia was being run out of Trump Tower. Trump meets with the Russians in 2016. Trump openly campaigns. Russia, if you're listening, go ahead and find Hillary's emails. He goes to Russia, and then our FBI is like, yeah, they interfered in the election. He's like, I don't know. I don't believe them. Vladimir told me that they didn't interfere in the election. And then Ukraine became the bad guy. I don't know why so many Republicans can't just step just right outside of the haze and look down and go, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
I could be critical of our entire system of how we do campaign financing, how we allow PACs and super PACs and all that stuff and all the dark money and all the corruption. I can definitely zoom out and see it all across the board. But again, even your framing of Russia rigged the election or Russia interfered with the election is problematic.
Wait. Hold on. What did they do?
Trolling
it's not.
On social media, having bot farms isn't interference. It's taking advantage of a system that's messed up.
Wait, hold on.
Manipulating your dumb uncle that Hillary Clinton sold children out of pizzerias. That's the action
not,
ultimately.
Wait, that's not the accusation though. You're mischaracterizing the entire accusation. The accusation isn't that Russia was promoting stuff online. They do that. We do that. We do it in their countries too. And I don't like it, but like it's been happening. It's been happening for decades.
Look at this comment. Is guy paid?
Hold on. No, just talk to me. Don't worry about the comments.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What's different is that was always happening. But Trump is the first one to embrace it, to take somebody on their payroll and make that person your campaign manager. Steve Bannon, who was working with the Trump campaign, was working through Cambridge Analytica directly with RT. They were sharing the information. They were sharing the research so that RT would help the Trump campaign, and they did it. The difference is that we've never had Democrats or Republicans working hand in hand with them. With Trump, we do. And then when you say like, why, and you dig into it, the more you dig with Russia, the more you find. Every conspiracy that the right throws out, the more you dig, the less you find. But with Russia, the more you dig, the more you're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Yeah, I am comfortable saying Donald Trump is a Russian asset. And I think I could prove it to you, to be honest. Like outside of the money, like Donald Trump suddenly goes and becomes great friends with the Saudi royal family. The Saudis are in bed with the Russians. The Saudis are in bed with the Chinese. The Saudis are
in bed with money.
I know, but hold on. The Saudis are in bed with the Iranians. And so if the United States has relations with the Saudis and it's like, well, they're economic relations, fine. I'm cool with that. But that's not what happened. Trump let them get away with murdering Jamal Khashoggi. Trump let them get away with bombing. Trump let them get away with invading Syria. Was it Syria with their weapons with Israeli, or was that Israel? I might be mixing those two up right now. But Trump is just getting out of their way. Trump pulled out of the Iranian nuclear agreement. How does that make sense?
It makes sense because it was actually the right thing to do.
Who wanted us out of the Iranian nuclear agreement?
I mean,
Iran.
Well, I mean,
China.
No, Iran
Russia.
Didn't want the US out.
Iran absolutely wanted us out. What are
no,
you?
They didn't. They didn't want the sanctions that Trump
exactly. They didn't want the sanctions. And who came to Iran's aid after we sanctioned them?
Who? Russia.
United Emirates, Russia, and China. So Trump took our enemy, took our ability to even look at what they're doing, removed our ability to oversee them, and now they're getting money pumped in from the Saudis, from the Russians, and from the Chinese. That's weird. Then the Abraham Accords happened. What do they all have in common? They all have good relationships with Russia and China and the Saudis.
No, the Abraham Accords
and then
were
Trump's
not about
kid
that. They were about normalization with Israel and defense agreements with the U.S.
It wasn't defense agreements. It was literally economic agreements.
Yeah,
they all basically said, they all recognize that once Palestine is wiped off the map, there's going to be a good opportunity to invest in Israel.
No, my God. No, that's not it.
It's not?
The normalization of the Abraham Accords had to do with, first of all, trade and diplomacy with Israel, but also with the sale of U.S. Weapon systems to these countries.
These countries that are in bed with the Chinese and the Russians.
I mean, everyone's in bed with everyone. I don't understand what you're.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. Right now. Everyone, money is in bed with money.
Absolutely not.
It
No, they're
is.
absolutely not. Do you see the Biden administration in bed with the Saudis? Do you see the Biden administration in bed with the Russians? Do you see the Biden administration in bed with the Chinese?
Want me to bring up like the relations with the Ukrainian, energy sector and all that shit that was going
Sure.
on? And
Yeah, bring it
I
up.
mean, I'm not interested
Are
in
the
that. You know why? 'Cause
Ukrainians
I
an
know that
enemy?
this is the reality.
Are
No,
the
they're not an
Ukrainians
enemy.
okay, well there's a big difference. I'm fine with
I
us
don't
being
view-
involved in other countries' economics. I want a global economy. I like that. I think it benefits people. I think it's the way that we'll lift the world up. We do need a global economy. But I'm talking specifically about the actions of Donald Trump that go in line step by step. It's like, here's what Putin wants you to do. What does Putin want more than anything? He wants us out of NATO. And Trump's the first person ever, the first president we've ever had to come in and be like, fuck NATO. NATO's dog shit. I'll get us out of NATO.
He didn't withdraw us from
He
NATO.
didn't withdraw us from NATO.
He didn't withdraw us from NATO. All he did was pressure NATO
But he
allies
didn't have
to
support.
increase their budgets.
Do you think Trump could get us out of, if Trump were to win now and he got Congress, do you think he would pull us out of NATO?
Absolutely not.
Really? See, I think he would.
Congress wouldn't allow it. Even if he wanted to.
No, if he had Congress. That's what I'm saying. He'd have to have Congress too. I understand.
He wouldn't have Congress, so that would require fucking.
Okay, but if he did, I know. Listen, this is a hypothetical. It's a hypothetical for a reason, because I also don't think it's going to happen. But let's just say he gets Congress. You don't think he'd pull us out of NATO?
I don't think it would pull us out of NATO. No, I think he would just pressure NATO allies to increase their budgets and defense spending.
Well,
I don't think
I don't, because I don't think it's really. I don't think it's about defense spending. I think it's about doing what Russia wants him to do.
So you really think that the puppet master behind the scenes is pulling the strings of this person named Trump to the extent that he is a liability, a national security threat? You think to that extent, genuinely?
I don't know what you mean by to that extent.
Meaning to the extent that he is actually doing the bidding of Russia and Putin. He is their puppet.
Yeah.
Through and through. He doesn't care about America. He
no.
doesn't
Look, he can tell Russia no on certain things, and he has told Russia no on certain things. But I don't think it's direct, like Vladimir Putin calls Trump and says, "Hey, I need you to do this for me." And Trump's like, "Okay." No, I think through negotiations, Vladimir Putin is able to convince him of doing really dumb things because Trump is really dumb. I believe Trump is an asset.
He's compromised.
I believe is an asset because he's a useful idiot and his money is tied to Russia. And he knows, and everybody knows this. There's not a human being that understands Russia that doesn't for 1 second believe that if Donald Trump suddenly hardened his stance against Russia, that Russia wouldn't immediately stop funding his shit, because they would. And they're funding everything. Like they have funded his entire empire, and now the Saudis are also funding it.
So through all of this, all of our intelligence community, all of our law enforcement agencies haven't been able to bring.
Oh, you got community guidelines? I didn't do that. That was a TikTok removal. It was a good time for me to have my hand. It said you got community guidelined. I don't know what that was about. It was weird. TikTok's being weird. Right in the middle of that debate, I got a notification saying live traffic was restricted and that I needed to remove Matt, which was like an hour ago. So I don't know how that happened either. Yeah, good point, Bremer. Wait till you see the shit that's going on in Canada. When it comes out, there's going to be Americans in. Yeah, 100%. I was watching some of that Canadian stuff earlier. Finally, we've got some more people, so I don't have to listen to the French translation. And no disrespect to the French, I have ADHD. So listening to something I don't understand and then waiting for the explanation is like, it's hell for me. Let me read some comments here. Ashley says, an old couple was at church and the lady leaned over to her husband and said, "I just let out a really long, silent fart. What should I do?" Her husband said, "Replace the batteries in your hearing aid." Brian says Russians had bounties on Americans. Trump did nothing about it. Good point. I wish I would have remembered that. That's a good point. Estelle says, I read Bob Woodward's new book. It definitely is a good read and very eye-opening about Ukraine and Israel with Biden in charge. I have not read it yet. I look forward to reading that after the election when I have some time. Dennis says Tulsi started cucking for Trump after 2016. Facts. Like I've been pretty careful about the Trump Russia stuff, but like at this point, I don't think we need to be careful about it anymore. It's pretty fucking clear that Russia owns the GOP. Or at the very least, they're able to get the GOP to do what they want. Peyton says, was not expecting you to moan in my ear this morning. Good Lord, sorry. I wasn't expecting for Tucker Carlson to have an orgasm on stage, but here we are. John says, I've got something I can shoot in his face. Jesus Christ, John. Just to be clear, TikTok, that was not a threat of violence. That was a threat of a good time, I think. Estelle, thank you for that. ProPublica. Gun makers, owners, sensitive personal information. I don't know what that is. I can't click on that right now. I'll read that later. Thanks, Estelle. Looks interesting. Have you seen the newest ProPublica article about gun companies? All right, Jimmy, we're going to go there. That's back-to-back people. What are we talking about here? With knowledge, then let's see what we got here. In the late 1990s, the gun industry launched a secret project to elect firearm-friendly politicians. Manufacturers gave political operatives sensitive, intimate information on their customers without their consent. Whoa. The story behind the data sharing and its impact has never been revealed until now. This looks like the shit Cambridge Analytica got a hold of. Whoa. You guys want to go over this, or do you want me to read it and go over it tomorrow? We love TikTok Shop. Listen. I think we're already live restricted, anyways. Like we already meant. You guys want me to read it first or read it now? Tomorrow's Friday, Chet. Chet just said tomorrow's Saturday. So I swear to God, if today is actually Friday, I'm gonna lose. Oh, it's Thursday. Okay, there we go. Read now. All right, now wins. For you, it looks like it's pretty. How long is it? All right, I'll try and speed read some of it. America's most iconic gun makers turned over sensitive personal information, those of consumers to political operatives. The operatives, in turn, secretly employed the details to rally firearm owners to elect pro-gun politicians. The clandestine sharing of gun buyers' identities without their knowledge and consent marked a significant departure for an industry that has long prided itself on thwarting efforts to track who owns firearms. That's a good point. At least 10 gun industry businesses, including Glock, Smith & Wesson, Remington, Marlin, and Mossberg, handed over names, addresses, and other private data to the industry's chief lobbying group, the National Shooting Sports Foundation. The NSSF then entered the gun owners' details into what would become a massive database. Holy fuck. It came from warranty cards filled out by customers, returned to gun manufacturers. A ProPublica review of dozens of warranty cards from the 70s through today found that some promised customers their information would be kept strictly confidential. Others said some information could be shared with third parties for marketing and sales. None of the cards informed buyers their details would be used by lobbyists. This is not even remotely surprising, honestly. Like this type of data, these types of if you ever go, like, especially in politics, if you're ever on a website and you wonder like why the fuck they're always trying to get your phone number and your email address, it's because they sell that information to politicians who use it for, and that's a lot of what, by the way, Cambridge Analytica did. I'm guessing some of this will overlap with Cambridge Analytica, but that's how they built the profiles of Trump voters that they thought they could target. That's the list. Remember the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. The shooter from Butler was on some of these lists. Remember they talked about like a specific list about people that were like pro-gun. Probably got it there. Alex says MAGA is fractured but whole. All right. Trump is what weak men think strong looks like. That's from Shannon. Good point. Sorry, guys. Sorry I was late on the messages. I'll update the goal here in a minute, too. Leibowitz said, John Leibowitz, who was appointed the FTC commission by Bush, served as chair under Obama, reviewed several company privacy policies and warranty cards. The commission has enforced privacy protection since the 70s. He says this is super troubling. You shouldn't take people's data without them knowing what you're doing with it and give it to sell to others. Yeah, I don't know. Is there more than that? That was a South Park. I've never watched South Park, honestly. I know that that's going to be surprising. And it's 100% because the animation sucks, and now I need to watch it. Sorry. Yeah, I've never watched South Park. I know. Is there more to this? Is there stuff I need to get to? Because to me, this actually just makes sense. I'm not surprised by this at all. Yeah. In response to ProPublica and NSFF, knowledge that used the customer information in 2016 for creating a data model of potentially sympathetic voters. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. This is the stuff they did with Cambridge Analytica. You can go read the book Mindfuck. It's all in there. Yeah. Started with a school shooting in 1989. A man armed with an AK walked into the campus of an elementary school in Stockton, fired more than 100 rounds. The shooter had an extensive criminal history, but had no trouble buying the weapon from an Oregon gun store. Oregon and federal laws didn't require background checks. The rampage shocked the nation. The ATF suspended imports on foreign-made semi-automatic weapons. Isn't that crazy? Like this, I didn't know this, but isn't that like even Bush and an NRA member, they banned imports for semi-automatic weapons, not semi-automatic weapons, but just the imports. That's wild. I didn't know that. All right, I'm going to read over this tomorrow, and then if there's more stuff to cover tomorrow, we'll get back to it. But right now, I don't feel like I can skim that very accurately. We'll get back to the show here. All right. I just wanted to remind everybody that Tucker Carlson, one of the reasons that it's pretty clear to me that he works for Russia is not just because of his pro-Russia stances, but like I'm old enough to remember Tucker Carlson 4 years ago. Tucker Carlson 4 years ago, while he was still working at Fox, we got to see a lot of the stuff that he had to say about Donald Trump and specifically Sidney Powell. Carlson's messages behind closed doors lambasted the news division and management, revealed how he felt about Donald Trump, and demonstrated his skepticism of the election lies. So much that the Fox attorneys and company founder Rupert Murdoch held him up as part of their defense of the company in the Dominion lawsuit. They were like, look, Tucker Carlson knew it was a lie. Tucker Carlson doesn't like Trump. Look, this is our defense. Sidney Powell's lying, Carlson told a Fox News producer. In exchange before using expletives to describe Powell, an attorney representing Trump. You keep telling our viewers that millions of votes were changed by the software. I will hope you will prove that very soon, Carlson wrote to Powell. You've convinced them that Trump will win. If you don't have a conclusive evidence of fraud at that scale, it's a cruel and reckless thing to keep saying. And yet, Tucker Carlson is out there to this day saying that election was stolen. When he was at Fox, no problem. Is it echo for everybody or just Amber? No echo? Okay. Fox attorneys noted that Carlson repeatedly questioned Powell's claims in his broadcast. When we kept pressing, she got angry and told us to stop contacting her. Carlson told his audience that he had taken Powell seriously, but she never provided any evidence or demonstrated that the software Dominion used siphoned votes from Trump to Biden. Carlson continued to trash Powell and Trump's legal team in 2020. November 23rd, text with Laura Ingraham. He bemoaned what he considered the president's passivity in the face of 2 Georgia runoffs. After saying it was disgusting that more attorneys hadn't pushed back on the claims of Trump's attorneys, Carlson wrote, and now Trump, I learned this morning, is sitting back and letting them lose the Senate. He doesn't care. I care. I've got 4 kids and plan to live here. Oh, fuck you guys with the mute. I hate all of you. Fox viewers were outraged when the network called Arizona for Joe Biden. Fox executives and hosts began to worry about ratings as many of those viewers fled to other outlets. We worked really hard to build what we have. Those fuckers are destroying our credibility. It enrages me, Carlson said. He was mad that this just shows though, like how manipulated the Trump voter is, that when Fox called the election for Arizona, the viewers are like, fuck, I refuse to believe this. I'm out of here. I got to go watch somebody who will continue to lie to me. It's just the baby bird. Lie to me more, daddy. Like the stuff he's saying on stage, he gets it. He knows who he's talking to. These are people that want to be fed only things that make them believe that their guy is the guy and that he doesn't do anything wrong. On November 8th, after Biden was declared the winner, Carlson texted a couple of employees, said, did the executives understand how much trust and credibility we've lost with our audience? We're playing with fire for real. Later in the chain, as others bring up Newsmax as an emerging competitor, Carlson said, with Trump behind it, an alternative like Newsmax could be devastating to us. This is in real time, Carlson going, I got to bend the knee. Guys, we all have to bend the knee because they go with him. They don't give a fuck about what we're saying. They're like, we're telling them the truth, and they're leaving in droves. In text messages to a producer, Carlson braced for a Trump press conference. He's only good at destroying, Carlson said of the then president, apparently also good at spanking. He later added, in regard to the fraud allegations made by Trump and his allies, he's playing with fire. In exchange with an unknown person on January 4th, Carlson expressed anger toward Trump. He said, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights, and I truly can't wait." Carlson said he had no doubt there was fraud in the 2020 election, but said Trump and his lawyers had so discredited their case and media figures like himself that it's infuriating, absolutely enrages me. We're all pretending we've got a lot to show for it because admitting what a disaster it's been is too tough to digest. But come on, there really isn't an upside to Trump. 3 years later, 3.5 years later, this guy's on a campaign stage rallying for Trump, talking about how great he was as president. Early on January 2021, after the January 6th attacks, Carlson and his producer Alex Pfeiffer bemoaned how the rioters had believed Trump's election lies. They take the president literally, Pfeiffer said. Did I not just say that? Like that the criticism from Trump people when they're trying to like control the masses, like, don't listen to the words that he says. Hear what he says and come up with a definition that's not fucking crazy, and then just believe that instead. He is to blame for everything that happened today, that's the producer, Alex Pfeiffer. The problem's a little deeper than that, I'd say, said Carlson. Obviously, the problems are deep, but at the core of it, it's Trump saying it was stolen. Not the core, Carlson wrote. Awful, but a symptom. Later, Carlson writes of Trump, he's a demonic force, a destroyer, but he's not going to destroy us. I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years. He's a demonic force. He's a destroyer. He's not going to destroy us. I've been thinking about this every day for 4 years. 4 years later, spank me, Daddy Trump. Spank me, Daddy Trump. Some of the most, goddamn, AP, get off my nuts. Some of the most heated vitriol was reserved for colleagues in the news division and included conversations with Laura Ingraham and Sean Hannity. On November 13th, after the election, Hannity and Carlson got into a text message exchange in which they lambasted the news division. It began with Ingraham pointing out a tweet by correspondent Brian Yanis saying he had seen no evidence of widespread voter fraud in Pennsylvania. Carlson, don't clip that. Carlson replied that Yanis had, is that how you say that? L-L-E-N-A-S? It sounds like anus. And I know that, is it Yanas? Yanas? Somebody help me there. I don't want to keep saying something that sounds exactly like anus, but that's how I'm reading it. Giannis? It's Giannis? Really? Giannis. Damn. All right. Thank you. What? Yeah. Where's that name from? Giannis. Okay. Thank you. I've seen it spelled like Giannis, the basketball player. I've never seen L-L-E-N-A-S. Never. That's crazy. Carlson reported that Lannis had contacted him to apologize, then added, when has he ever reported on anything? Ingraham then names another colleague who indicated there was no fraud, with Hannity responding, guys, I've been telling them for 4 years, news depart that breaks no news ever. Oh, department. Yeah, that's news. They hate all three of us. All because the news is like, hey, we can't find any evidence. And now they're nightly news. The Tucker, Hannity, and Ingraham are like, guys, they fucking hate us. They're out there telling the people that there's no evidence when there's no evidence. Giannis. I don't know. Ingraham responds, she doesn't want to be like them. And Carlson chimes in, they're pathetic. It's just like, anyways, Carlson clearly has made a change. He clearly made a massive change after he got back from Russia. And we're still supposed to believe these are not Russian plants. Let me check messages real quick. Tracy, this ought to be wonderful. For Halloween, you go as JD Vance and I'll go as a couch. Might be better off as a rug. That might be a better one. All right, I got that one. Spanish alphabet has the double L. Yeah, I get it. I just like E-N-A-S. I don't get how that's Giannis. That's why I thought it was the E. Isn't that usually an A sound and then us? I don't know. Deesness. It could be Deesness. That could be it. That's their son. Here's something interesting that Tucker said, by the way. Their lies know no bounds.
I have never in my life spoken at a political rally. I've covered a million of them for over 30 years, and I've never spoken at one, never thought I would. And I'm so thrilled. I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, 3 months ago he spoke at the RNC. I don't know. 3 months ago. Clark says, check your email. What is this? Trump's plan to kill your union. What is this? Oh, thanks. I'll check that out later. Appreciate it. Yeah, Tucker has absolutely been out there campaigning for Trump multiple times. This is a Newsweek article from Justin Trudeau's information that came out in Canada. Tucker Carlson funded by Russia. Let's see. Did I highlight this one? I can't remember if I highlighted it. All right, I didn't. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has said under oath that Tucker Carlson is funded by a Russian state media-owned outlet without providing evidence for the claim. Trudeau made the allegation about Carlson and fellow conservative media personality Jordan Peterson while testifying at a public inquiry into foreign interference on Wednesday. The Canadian Prime Minister was addressing alleged Russian influence in spreading anti-vax messaging and in the media and on social media during the Freedom Convoy protest against COVID-19 and restrictions in Canada. We've seen that anti-vax messages during the convoy during the pandemic were amplified by Russian propaganda, especially in the media on the right, Trudeau said. He added that after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, several of these channels began spreading pro-Putin propaganda. We've recently seen that RT is currently funding bloggers and other YouTube personalities of the right, such as Jordan Peterson. Other names that are well known, Tucker Carlson as well, in order to amplify messages that are destabilizing democracies. Now, I don't know if Trudeau is just allowed to say this. These investigations are largely kept under wraps. Maybe they got permission to drop those two names. I'm not really sure. They certainly got permission to drop the names Tim Pool and Dave Rubin, but that was after Dave Rubin and Tim Pool had been notified and they were able to give a comment. So this is interesting to me. I don't know if he was allowed to do that or not. I don't know the rules in Canada. Maybe you guys don't have any rules in Canada. I don't know. Did you call him True Daddy? Don't call politicians daddy, right? And I have to make fun. Later on in this, I don't know, Fourth Reich rally that they had, RFK came up on the stage because what's a Republican rally without RFK? And he goes batshit.
Say one other thing. President Harris said today in her post, in her speech, she said that President Trump was going to turn the U.S. military against the American public. And
because Trump said that, by the way, I just want to be clear before we make these statements. She didn't say that. She said what he said. Trump said he would use the military on American civilians if necessary. She quoted him. RFK is saying that she made it up. And the crowd's going to go crazy. They have no idea that Trump actually said this.
Use the public to promote his agenda. How many of you think that is true? Well, what's interesting to me is that the Biden-Harris administration has done something 2 weeks ago that has never been done in American history, which is to send lethal force, to send a directive to the Pentagon, changing the law to make it legal for the U.S. military to use lethal force against American citizens on American soil.
It's not true. He's talking about 5240.1. And I'll explain it later, but this has been around since 2004. It was around during the Bush administration. It was updated in 2016 and 2022. And this is just another update, like a scheduled every 4 years update. And they essentially, what they do is they just adjust like where the military is allowed, like if something different has happened. And I would just ask, like, after 2020, is there any scenario we could think of where we wanted the military to be used against American citizens, and because of a corrupt leader, we were unable to do so? Yeah, it happened. This is a response to January 6th. And this is basically saying now, if you go and you read the updates, to me, I'm not an expert on this. If there's somebody who is, and I'm wrong, please correct me. But the way that I read it, it reads saying like, hey, if in these instances where law enforcement is overpowered at the Capitol, yes, we can bring in U.S. troops to stop them. It's Janus? Shut up. Is it really Janus? Stop it. The logo on my hat is just it's a golf course. It's just a golf hat. Anyways, if anybody has different information on 5240.1 that I'm missing, or if there's anybody here that has like more details on exactly what the updates were, you can probably explain it better than me. You're welcome in the box if you have the updates on that. If not, we'll just keep going. Oh, Hugh Janus.
Technically,
Jesus.
now it's legal. The U.S. military, under this directive, it will become legal for the U.S. military to shoot and kill Americans who engage in political protests because they disagree with policies in the White House.
Nope. If all of those people on January 6th had showed up and they stood outside the Capitol and they yelled, whatever, all the things they yelled, to hang Mike Pence, you're all traitors, USA, USA, stop the steal, they could have done all of that. There's no force that would be authorized against them. The force was authorized against them when they started beating the shit out of the police. That's when the force, like, that's how this works. My problem with a lot of Republicans who like, he's a Republican. We can just say, Guy Fawkes is a Republican. He's just really good at hiding it. He used to pretend to like be a leftist. He doesn't even do that anymore. But they bring up people like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, and it's like, all right, well, if they switched sides and they had a good reason for it, fine, let's hear the reason. And then the reason they give us is, oh, here's a lie. This is like, I'm just going to lie. My reason that I'm a Republican is an obvious lie. Why? Because they can't say the things, right? It goes almost against their moral code. They can't be like, yeah, because really we want billionaires to be taxed less. Really, we don't want public education. Really, we want to kill Medicare and Social Security. Because maybe they don't believe that, but what they can do is go, I am cashing Russian checks. I'll do conspiracy theory. Because like ultimately, does that hurt? I'll just say that the reason I'm a Republican now is because of this conspiracy theory. In RFK's instance, it's about them collaborating to get him off the ticket. Like, you know how easy it is to get somebody off the debate stage that can't qualify for the debate stage because nobody likes him? Not very hard, right? Like there was, when people are like, you guys fucked RFK over. No, we didn't. He got in the primary, and we said no, thank you, no, thank you. And then, like in some states where Republicans are allowed to vote in the primary, he would get some votes, and they're like, "Look, Dems showing out. There's a momentum for RFK." And you're like, "No, Republicans are just allowed to vote in that primary." And so his numbers would peak. Every time a Republican was allowed to vote in a primary, RFK's numbers would peak. And then if it was closed to Republicans, it was fucked. Yeah, well, he's not on the ticket. I guess he's on the... Oh, is he still on your ballots? Yeah, but not as a Democrat. Yeah, I was talking about the primaries. They all want to claim their victims. Marianne Williamson does the same thing. Like, no, you just fucking suck. Shout out Marianne Williamson. Like, Marianne Williamson couldn't handle questions from like kids and me, just TikTokers. That's why you didn't make it.
I'm not making this up. Any of you can look it up. This is a Democratic initiative. This did not come during the Trump administration. This did
Yes,
not
it
come
did.
from Donald Trump. It came from
Came
the
from
Democratic Party.
Came from George Bush. Came from George Bush. He's right. Didn't come from Donald Trump. Didn't come from the Democratic Party. Came from George Bush.
And that's why I left the Democratic Party.
Another question. RFK left the Democratic Party a while ago. This change happened this week. Is he a time traveler? He showed up in the future. He's like, fuck 5240.1. I'm out. And they're like, what? He's like, I'll tell you guys later. Is that what he's saying? I left because of this. It just happened. And I left a while ago. And Republicans, listen, this whole base is just dumb. All they want to hear is, I'm on your side. Yay! Because this is an obvious lie. And they go crazy
And
for
that's
it.
why I left the Democratic Party.
It's so stupid. Of course, that's not why he left. Of course not. And you can just lie with impunity up there. It doesn't matter. Like nobody actually knows what's going on, so they're not going to fact check you. Then this fucking happened. And I just want to show you this because it's weird. This is a real thing that happened. They took a picture. Look how many phones are out. They took a staged photo op prayer. And all of these people sat around Donald Trump like they're anointing him. Fucking weird. All right, listen, I'm going to say it. If you guys aren't on the Discord, you might have missed this. But a couple nights ago, not last night, the night before, I was just scrolling through TikTok, which I almost never do. And I don't think I would have come across this live, except for I follow SK. And I swiped into SK's. It wasn't her live. It was somebody else's live. And they were taking turns praying for Donald Trump. And they were saying some of the craziest shit I've ever heard. Like, I know I put it in the chat, but I'd have to scroll way up. If somebody wants to find it in Discord, they said something about like, let the blood of Christ pour out over the election machines and protect them. It was bat shit crazy. And I have an alt account that most people don't know about. I jumped in the guest request. I was going to do it because I was going to use, I can do it now. You want me to show you what I was going to do? Let's get a cap. I'll give you what I was going to do. See if you guys know this. Oh, you guys can see that shit. It's close. I was going to do this. Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, Lord, and Lord, it feels like home. Lord, when you call my name, Lord, it's like a little prayer. Lord, I'm down on my knees, Lord. I want to take you there. Lord, in the midnight hour, I can feel your power. Lord, just like a prayer, I can take you there. And I don't think any one of them would have got it. I actually think I could have got away with it. But my fear was that like around the MAGA folks, they'd be like, he's mocking our faith. And I wouldn't have a defense because I would have been like, yeah, I am. I'm definitely mocking your faith. I was doing it. And so, oh, Jesus Christ. All right, we clipped it. Great news, everybody. Somebody clipped it. Oh my God. How do I open just the video? Oh, it's on YouTube. Okay. I guess you guys get to see it.
Yeah.
Me too, Millie.
And I would add that I don't think that he gives you more than you can handle, but I definitely think that
Trump never gives
you're
anybody
meant to
more than
lean
they can
on
handle.
him Whenever like it's too much, it's because you need to be leaning on him.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's awesome. Hi, Heather. How's it going?
Okay, I kind of want to piggyback off of what Millie said and
Yeah.
do a prayer here. So,
Yes.
Heavenly Father, right now I pray that you give us a peace that surpasses all understanding, Father God. And I know that times are really difficult right now, that all over the world, Father God, and you need that peace right now. And We pray that your will be done, no matter what it is, Father God. We need that to happen right now. And Father, we are grateful for everything that you have given us. We pray that you wrap your arms around each and every one of us, Father. Here in North Carolina, we really need you right now, and we are grateful for every single person you have sent us to help us right now, God. And we especially ask that you wrap your arms around all of the workers right now, and pray for your protection around them, Father. Thank you for everything that you do for us, and in your name I pray. Amen.
Jen, can you? I don't want to make everybody. I don't want everybody to have to sit through that. But if somebody can find me a time stamp, either Jen or somebody in the Discord, of when they talk about like the blood of Christ covering the the election, what are the ballot machines, the electronics. Get me that, because I'd like to replay that one, but I don't know if I can do this twice. I don't know if I can do the MAGA prayer twice. And I apologize if any of those MAGA folks are in here. And if you think I'm mocking your religion, I guess that's fine. That's fair. I'm mocking that you're doing it in the weirdest possible way for the weirdest possible reason, and you're doing it on TikTok, despite the fact that, like, if I remember anything from Christianity, you're supposed to kind of do that stuff in private. Like, none of this is private. It's so weird. I can speak tongues if you want. Yeah. I went to a church in Virginia Beach one time. It was the first time I went to what I was told. So I met these people. And we went to a cook. It was a whole family. Like there was like 3 generations of family that had lived there. So the whole neighborhood was like one family. It was a black family, and they invited us. It was the first time I'd ever had collard greens. It was unbelievable. With the ham hock and the bacon and its hot sauce. Oh, it changed my life forever. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that taste. But then they were like, you should come to church with us on Sunday. And they're like, do you go to church? I'm like, yeah, I'm Mormon. And they were like, cool. It's different. Like black church is a little different. Like we sing a little bit more. There's clapping. I was like, cool. I'm down with clapping. And so we're sitting there clapping at church. And I'm like, this is nice. This is better than Mormons. And then directly behind me, I was like, what the? And then everybody broke into tongues. I didn't know what was happening. I never knew. We didn't talk about speaking in tongues. In fact, when Mormons think that tongues was like an act, like other languages. And then everybody in the church is making these noises and like dancing and running around. And it blew my fucking socks off. Scared me at first, but then it was cool. And then after they were like, sorry, we should have warned you about that. I was like, yeah, that would have been good. But that was, and I know I've been to other churches that is not an accurate representation of what black church is. I'm clear on that now. That's just what I was sold at the time, that this is what it was. But black church is way better, so much better. People can sing. I think that the reason we don't clap, I've thought about this a lot. The predominantly white religions, I think the reason we don't clap is because we know like 70% of the audience isn't going to clap at the right time. Like the beat's going to be all fucked up and it'll muddle the sound. I think that's why we don't clap and dance at church. I think it's because there's a great deal of us that can't do it at the same time. And so I prefer, if I ever have to go to church again, I would prefer church where you're dancing and clapping. That would be my preference. Or the ones that have like restaurants in them. Those ones are good too. Let me check comments real quick. Thank you for the reminder. Perfect Mix says, for Jay, our Father God. Yeah. That was another thing that was different to me coming out of Mormonism, is the way that people pray was so different. Sal says, if you liked how they spoke in tongues, you'd love the way I speak in tongues. Okay. 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 Tracy says, oh, mighty Jesus, I pray for you. Jesus. Oh, God. Jeez. I don't know if I can get through this one. Almighty Jesus, this is from Tracy. I pray for you to come inside me. I want you to warm my soul. Thank you. Sal says, I'd wrap something else around your ballot box. Well, I don't even understand that reference. What are you gonna? Jesus. Tiffany says, "Hell Satan," with a picture of pizza, and I like that. Thank you for that reprieve. Jesus Christ. Tracy says, "Dear Satan, Jesus Claus, please let Kamala win." Dear Satan, Jesus Claus. I love that. All right, we did that one already. Thank you. All right, you guys did a great job making me go red today. Thank you for that. Then Trump, finally Trump got on stage and he said this, and I don't think there's a good explanation for this. No matter how you interpret what he said here, from the worst possible to interpretation to the best, none of it makes any fucking sense. And just listen.
As many as you have no idea what I did in the White House. I stopped wars with France. France, you know the France story? They were going to charge us, think of this, 25%.
I don't know what wars he started. I know some people are saying it was a war with France. I think he's now like referring to a different France story. I'm not sure what. Maybe he thought we went to war with France. You can hear it again, and then we'll keep it playing. This isn't a weave. This is flipping through the dictionary and randomly pointing at words and then trying to continue your sentence on. Yeah, I don't know if it was
With France. You have no idea what I did in the White House. I stopped.
We should know, by the way. We should know what you did in the White House. Why don't we have any idea? Why don't we know? Maybe because it's lies.
Wars with France. France, you know the France story? They were going to charge us, think of this, 25% to all America. I have to protect American companies, whether we like them or not. Some of them I didn't even like. You know, Google is treating us much better. Do you notice that?
See, somebody said the submarine. What? What is he? Now he's talking about tariff. See, you thought submarine. I thought, I didn't know. I still don't know. I'm assuming there was some sort of like tariff, maybe on wine. I don't know. What are on toast? Maybe on fries. What was the tariff on? Does anybody know what the tariffs were on? Tax. Was it on wine? Was it or fries? Yeah, croissants. Croissant. We can get croissant from Canada. Yeah, I played Tucker. You missed Tucker. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was wine. Okay, I gotta protect. Either way, he's like, you know this story, and people are like, no, and he's like, cool. Google.
Just think of this, 25% to all America. I have to protect American companies, whether we like them or not. Some of them I didn't even like. You know, Google is treating us much better. Do you notice that? What happened to Google? They're treating us much better. Very nice.
What's he talking about there? What the fuck is that? What's he talking? Somebody help. It's on 6 as a first one. You guys don't believe it. Look, you can see it right there. You look at this first one up here. That's 666,000 views. That's pretty. For where's my MAGA at now? You guys love that that numerology. What do you call that shit when you care about numbers? Like numbers mean something. What does that mean? What's that word again? It's not numerology. It's some other dumb shit that they think about. Yeah, listen, that's a lot of views. I don't think I think Mr. Beast gets like 30 million views for every video he does. So it's Not statistics. Somebody said gematria. Is that right? Angel numbers. Gematria. Okay, gematria. Lots of people are saying that. Okay, I would not have remembered that was the word. I know I've heard it before, but that never would have come to me. That doesn't even sound familiar. All right. Oh, I did this one already. Here's the rest of it. Oh, there we go. Would I have one more? Yeah, this. This one was funny. I want to see if you guys catch what I catch here. I'll play it in full.
I want to tape every conversation. Every time I think about I want to tape every conversation. The problem is then I start thinking about Richard Nixon did that. And I say, let's do without the tape. Every time.
All right, France passed a 3% tax in July 2019 that targets around 30 big tech companies, including Facebook, Amazon, and Google. Okay. What did he do? He just, yeah. All right, let's play this one again. What is it like?
Every time
what he's saying here is because this is a response because John Kelly said that he said these awful things. And he's like, hey, I should tape everything.
Think about
but then I remember
tape every conversation. The problem is then I start thinking about Richard Nixon did that. And I say,
ironic that he chooses Richard Nixon, the other guy who got impeached and was removed from office like he should have been. Jen wants me to remind you we do have a gift goal. Let me update it real quick. Thanks, Jen. I appreciate that. I always forget to do that. There we go. All right, we'll go on to the next one. And then this is like the new talking point, which is fucking crazy for a lot of reasons. But it's ironic that Kamala came out with "We're not going back," and then it seems like immediately the Trump campaign shifted to "We're going back." Like this type of stuff wasn't the rhetoric 6 months ago, but once she started saying "we're not going back," they're like, "Fuck that, 1640. That's where we're going."
We had to go back to 1798. That's when we had laws that were effective. 1798 we had to go back to. And if they come back into our country, it's an automatic 10 years in jail with no possibility of parole. Automatic if they come back into our country. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
Standing ovation for the death penalty. See that?
For the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
If there's any Republicans here, we're talking about the death penalty. We're talking about killing people. Look, if you're pro death penalty, fine. I'm not trying to argue the death penalty. What I want to point out here is that throughout these clips, the only time these people stand up and cheer is either when they're praising Trump or threatening violence. And they're all in red. You got a bunch of people who look very similar, dressed all in red, with red hats. And the only time they get excited is when Dear Leader stands up and speaks, when Dear Leader is praised, or when they talk about violence. It's the only time these people stand up. I don't get why at this point, like, don't tell us we can't say Hitler. Don't tell us that anymore. You lost that. Don't tell us we can't say fascist anymore. Like, this is a remake. It's a shitty remake, but it's a remake. It's a remake with a dumber leader. Potentially dumber people, I don't know. It's the same fucking thing, guys. Like, Carlson warms up the crowd by just talking about how great Donald Trump is and how if he's going to come punish us because we deserve it. We deserve that type of punishment. and fill your rally with red, and then we just stand up every time they talk about attacking somebody. I'm tired of playing. Like I'm tired of. I want to play nice with Republicans. I do. I want to be able to like have discussions, but at this point, like I don't think we can say. I don't think that you have any ground to stand on anymore when you say stop saying fascist, stop saying Hitler. Like no, we're not going to. But this is clear now. So it wasn't as clear in 2016. It wasn't as clear in 2020. But now, just like Hitler, Trump's back is against the wall. If he doesn't win, he's going to be in prison, just like Hitler. And so what do? You play on the insecurities, you play on fear, you play on nationalism, you play on division, and you get the people angry. Because if you just were to come out and be like, hey, what we're gonna do is we're gonna try and get some of this inflation down. We're gonna get some jobs back. We're gonna spend on the border. We're gonna build out our infrastructure. Nobody cares because they've been force-fed hate-mongering bullshit since Obama was president. Fox News, that's when they took that real hard turn into the racism and into the bigotry. And they've been force-fed this now for, I guess, 12 years. And this is the end result of being indoctrinated for years that your political enemies were evil. You become the evil, but you can't recognize it. You don't recognize that you're the evil when you get to that point because you start to be able to justify things. Big Boat left. Sorry, Big Boat. I saw you there, but then you left. I wondered if I had this on here. Okay. Wanted to show you this too. Trump went on to Fox News later. I don't know if this was this morning or later that night. But this is just wait, is this the right one? It's not the right one. Shit, I played Jack Posobiec's. Damn it. Trump went on Fox this morning and he kept saying that Obama was fucking everything up. That like Obama was doing a shitty job and they had to correct him. They're like, I think you mean Biden, sir. He just kept saying Obama over and over, but I clipped Jack Posobiec for some reason. All right. Let's stay on this because I want to show the people trying to defend this. This is Doug Burgum. You may remember Doug Burgum from when he stood in the corner, when he cosplayed in the corner as an artificial plant on the Republican stage. He was the guy just standing there that you were like, what's that guy doing up there? Is he supposed to be at a podium? How come he never speaks? Why doesn't anybody acknowledge him? That's him. All right, Big Boat. There you go. What's up, Big Boat?
Dude, what's up? What's up, man?
Hey.
Look, I just gonna tell you I bought a hoodie today.
What hoodie did you buy?
The one with the RTP logo.
Why did you do that?
Well, it was the only thing that a Republican probably could wear in public without getting jumped.
That's true. What if you just stop being a Republican?
It's just in me, bro.
It's just in Trump's in you?
Trump's not in me.
How'd he get in you?
Republican is.
Well, what do you say about all the Republicans that are still claiming they're Republicans, but they're voting for Kamala? Could you be one of those Republicans?
Dude, that's their decision, their choice, man.
I know, but could you be one of them? Let's see. What are the chances what if we get you just to like, you're not going to vote for Trump anymore. You can vote for other Republicans, but no more fascists.
Look.
Are you telling me you watched that clip and you didn't think that was fascist?
Dude, I mean, no, not at all, honestly.
That doesn't make you feel sick that thousands of people are standing up cheering about the death penalty?
Well, you got to think, man, death penalty's been around for a long time. And I know, but taken away.
But I've never cheered it.
But let's be real. Has the prison systems gotten soft? 100%. No, they've gotten soft. There's nobody regrets going to prison. It's just like, hey, I'm better off.
But crime's down. But crime's down.
I get it. But the crimes he's talking about
when we
murder.
stopped. But when we yeah, but listen, dude, nobody's
murder for murder.
I know, but listen, nobody is going to not commit the crime of murder because of the death penalty. It doesn't stop anybody from doing it. It's just a way for people to feel vindicated. And even like I can even recognize that. Like on its surface, like I can watch a video of people cheering for the death penalty and be like, that's fucked up. I can also maybe consider myself in a position where somebody did something to my daughter and I might be like, yeah, fuck that. What I don't get is why people are cheering for the death penalty. Right? That's the part that makes me nervous. That the only time at these rallies that anybody stands up is if they're either praising Trump or they're threatening violence.
Look, I don't know why they're chanting, but I can agree.
Why do you think the people in Germany did that? Why do you think the people in Germany only cheered to praise their leader or when their leader was talking about violence against the Jewish people?
Look, we're never going to have another Hitler, man. Trump's not a Hitler.
I agree with you, but we're talking about fascism here. So I'm just comparing him to another Wait, no, stay with me, Big Bo. Why were those people...
I'm still on the same topic.
Then answer. Why were those people standing up and cheering for this same type of stuff?
I just said I don't know why they were cheering. Maybe it excited them. I have no idea.
What does that say about your movement when the only time people get excited is when you praise the leader or threaten violence?
Look, you gotta kind of somewhat sympathize with the people who have been affected by the mass loads of immigrants coming in and doing that kind of shit.
Yeah, but he's in Georgia. This rally's in Georgia. There's not I bet there's probably not a single person in that audience who has been affected by people coming to our country illegally, and they're all standing up cheering. So yes, I do. I preface that if somebody has lost a child, I give them a lot more leeway. If somebody's child has been lost and it was somebody who came here illegally that ended their child's life, I give space for them to be upset, to say what they're going to say, because I can't understand what it's like to be in their shoes, but I can understand what it's like to be in the shoes of all of those people standing up and cheering for it. And to me, it seems like bloodlust.
No, it's kind of a bully move to say, hey, y'all are going to stop. It's a threat, whether it works or not. Who knows?
But it doesn't work. We know that doesn't work. And he knows that. Everybody knows it doesn't work. It's about vengeance. It's about revenge. It's about hate. Like if this is a rule that he's like, hey, if you unalive an American citizen or you unalive a police officer, it's the death penalty. Why doesn't that apply to American citizens then? Why if an American citizen does the same thing, do they not get the death penalty? Do we have some right in this country where if you're a citizen, you have the right to unalive somebody without facing the death penalty? Why does somebody's immigration status change that?
I mean, we do kind of. I mean, particularly in my state. I don't know
why
about
why does somebody's immigration status change that?
I don't know why the immigration status changed it.
Could I give you some hypotheticals? Because I don't know why either, but is it possible that a group full of almost exclusively white people who have been told to fear immigrants are maybe racist, even if they don't know it? Maybe the idea, like maybe they're afraid of brown people, so the idea of attacking brown people makes them feel a little more safe?
I mean, there's probably a portion of people who are probably that way, 100%. I could agree.
Probably most of those people standing up and cheering, right?
I wouldn't throw the whole group in that. No, not at all.
Yeah, maybe not, but like what's another reason somebody might stand up and clap after he says we're going to give the death penalty to people who are here illegally?
Well, you got I guess you don't have to understand, but one of the biggest, probably the biggest thing on the right now is immigration. It ain't right. We're talking about the wall costs too much. What was the wall projected to be? 5, 6, 7 billion?
Yeah, like Trump's prediction, or like Trump's wall that he said, or like what it would actually cost, because it was going to be like
10. It
was going to be 10x that.
Yeah. So, but think about what it's costing us now with the immigrants here.
The wall wouldn't
It's
have the amount of
15.
But Big Boat, I've explained this to you before. The wall being, let's say Trump had built his wall, we would have the exact same problem that we have right now. It would not have changed one. Yes, because most of the people are here legally, dude. They're not sneaking. They're not sneaking. They're not sneaking across. They're literally coming to. They're literally coming to ports of entry, and being let across, claiming asylum, and then they're waiting for their court dates. No wall would have stopped any of that. 90% of the people in this country that are here illegally came here legally. Illegal immigration in terms of sneaking over the border is not even in the top 10 things that we should prioritize when it comes to our border, because it's such a small percentage of the people that are here illegally. And the problem that we have currently is that there are too many legal people trying to come into our country, and the Republicans won't give us the resources we need to handle it.
Well, I mean,
so that's what I'm saying. They're feeding you full of fear. Like you're a grown ass man. You shouldn't let people scare you like this. And they're just scaring, and they're scaring you into hating people. Yeah, they are. The fact that you want that
hating somebody.
The fact that you want that. No, that's not what I'm saying. The fact that you want that wall means you've been scared into it because you think the wall is a solution.
I think walls work.
Of course walls work. But walls don't work. Like if I put up walls to my home, but somebody's allowed to come in my front door and they come in the front door, do I say, we should build a wall? No. They're coming in the door.
Shit. Hang on, did I lose you? You still there?
No, I'm still here. I just said they're coming in the door.
Hello?
It's not a wall issue. Maybe I did lose you. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, I'm here. I'm still here.
Yeah, look. The problem I have with this version of the Republican Party is that everything that you guys believe right now and everything that you want to get done is based on something you've been told to be afraid about. Everything. The entire party is fear. Everything that you guys that is talked about on the stage is literally a lie that is meant to scare you.
Look, how is it fake fear when you see videos like people pouring in across the border, people going to the border? That's not fake.
But
I mean, maybe it is.
It is. And there have been videos of people coming across, like going through fencing, and they're like, look what's happening. And those videos didn't wind up being at our border. And some of them are at our border. But if you look at it statistically, almost everybody that has come to our border is seeking asylum. And that's a legal process. So there's nothing the president can do about that. Congress has to fix it. Congress is in the way. To ask yourself, if there is a solution, everybody knows it. Everybody knows the solution to this problem. Republicans know it. Democrats know it. Trump knows it. Biden knows it. The only reason we don't have a solution right now is because Republicans want Trump to campaign on this. So just think about that for a second. The very thing, Big Boat, that you're being told daily that you need to be afraid of only is existing in this manner to this point because Republicans won't do anything about it because they want Trump to be the one to fix it. So you want to talk of any life that is lost after the border funding? That's a Trump life. If we're going to do it that way, if we're going to blame whoever the leader is, those are Trump lives lost. All the crimes committed right now, those are Trump. Border Patrol being overworked, that's Trump. And somehow he's convinced you guys that like it's not him, even though it's so obviously him.
I mean, I have the same outlook on the whole abortion chat. This could have been squashed years ago when Obama had all the aisles, and he could have done something about it, but he didn't because it is a talking point.
Wait, no, he couldn't. You think the president can unilaterally do something with abortion? Look, most of the country liked Roe. We didn't need to change it. Most of the country liked Roe. Roe set a baseline. So if you lived in a state where you thought that Roe was too restrictive, you could expand abortion access above and beyond what Roe protected. But the majority of Americans wanted Roe. That's why nobody touched it. And then the states do have rights, but the states' rights come with like what they can allow outside of Roe. So no, Obama didn't need to fix Roe. Like you could have codified it. I guess you could have codified it. But I don't think people at that time really thought it was a threat that our Supreme Court was going to overturn Roe. It had gone to the Supreme Court multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be talking points that both parties intentionally don't fix just so they can hold it over the other one's head.
I don't agree with that. You'd have to give me an example of a time that happened.
I mean, right now, I can't think of anything particular, but I mean, when you're trying to win something or argue something, or when you're running for something, you want to have something on the other party, and you're always going to have dirt. I mean, look right now.
But what does it say about you? But Big Boat, what does that say about you? That the thing that you claim is like your biggest concern, you're voting for the person who's exacerbating the problem. You're voting for the person who's making it worse. So what does that say about you? It says to me that it says to me that you don't give a flying fuck about any of this. You just you want Trump to win.
Y'all know my biggest concern. We talked about it last week. Distribution of wealth, giving out free shit bothers me.
Well, then you should not vote for Donald Trump because he's advocating for handouts to the rich. He's giving free shit to rich people. You seem to have a problem when the free shit goes to people who need it.
No, I actually believe that there is a place for government funding for certain things, but to be promising people, hey, come get some free shit, and
nobody's doing that. The stuff that's free that Kamala is advocating for are for people starting a business. Let me look at it. Just watch this, bro. I want you to see, like, this is economist breakdown of the two plans. And you just tell me which one's going to help you.
To your second chart about what a Trump plan would actually do to the economy if implemented the way he's pitching it.
Yeah, so
this is from Bloomberg, by the way.
Why are these economists so opposed to Trump's plan? Because the economic effects would be pretty terrible. This is a study done by Bloomberg Economics, and they found that Harris's plan did not have much change in either the GDP or inflation, which in a sense is a good thing at this point. But look at what Trump's plan would do. Trump's plan would cut the GDP by 8.9%. And let me put that in perspective for you. This is roughly twice the amount that the GDP went down during the financial crisis.
Wow.
So we would be looking at something between a recession and a depression. And interestingly, I'm sure people know because we've talked about this many times, the tariffs would cause certainly a part of this. But the biggest cause, actually, of this drop are the mass deportations that Trump is talking about, because he would take huge pieces of our labor force out of the country, send them back or send them somewhere else, and the result would be business wouldn't have labor. They wouldn't be able to produce things, and you'd have this enormous economic contraction. So
what do we do with that?
I mean, my first thought is when you start talking about giving out money, one of the first things that drove me nuts was during the recession, 07, 08, when they started giving out billions to banks. That just doesn't sit well with me.
Are you honest to God? Are you joking right now? Is this a joke? You're not fucking with me right now?
This is dead honest. I used to argue.
So wait, okay.
Why do we give money to the bank?
I wanted to make sure you were serious about that, because we're coming out of an economic depression, and Donald Trump is talking about bailing out corporations and billionaires. That's what his fucking tax cut is. You're mad about that, but you're supporting it now? It's the same fucking thing. What are you talking about, bro? Are you out of your mind?
Listen.
That's crazy, Big Bo. It's the same thing.
Dude, listen.
It just better be good.
Listen, you got to think, man. I'm literally I want some of what y'all talk, and I want some of what they talk. Okay, you got me. I'm a legit. I wouldn't even call myself independent. I'm just like, if I could take both parties and
wait,
make
no. We're not going there. You said your biggest problem is that in 2008 they bailed out the rich folks, the billionaires, the corporations, the banks.
I know.
Now we're coming out of a depression, and there are two options on the table. Option from Harris is I'm going to take from the rich and I'm going to give it to the middle class because they got fucked. And I'm going to tax the rich a little bit more. I'm going to cut the tax burden for the middle class because the rich got richer and they got fucked. And Trump's plan is I'm not doing shit for the middle class. I'm going to give all these bonuses to the rich because they're promising the same thing they did in 2008. Hey, I know we took a hit, but remember, we're the ones that create all the jobs. Give us the money. We'll trickle it down. And they're not going to do it. You would have fallen for it then too. You don't have a problem with that. You're voting for the exact same fucking plan. It's the exact same.
Look, when you vote, there's things that Kamala has said and does.
This was your big one, though. This was your big one. Wealth distribution. You don't like wealth redistribution when it goes from the rich to the middle class or the poor, but you're fine with wealth distribution when it goes from the middle class to the rich. You like it when the rich get richer.
I do not like total umbrella distribution of wealth to anybody.
Nobody's doing that. Well, in that case, nobody did that in 2008. Nobody's proposing it now.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, my thought is if you give those billions of dollars to the bank, banks are going to suck it up, pad a little bit, take some money.
No shit. So
100%.
maybe the tech companies will do the exact same thing. Maybe the oil companies are going to do the exact same thing. Maybe places like Amazon and Walmart are going to do the exact same thing. When you give them the breaks, they just suck it all up and they pass a little bit of it down. Big Bo, this is the same thing. You're not principled on this, dude. If you were principled on this, if this was really your stance, you wouldn't be supporting Trump's plan. You are 100% the people in 2008 that were like, yeah, we should bail out the big banks. That's you. You're the too big to fail guy.
No, I don't agree with bailing out the big dogs every time. No.
Well, that's what Trump's doing.
No.
Well, that's what Trump's doing, though.
He says he is, but is he going to do it? I don't know.
So
Kamala says
he says he's going to. He says he's
know.
going to do it, and you're against it, so you vote for him. Remember, this is your number one issue. On your number one issue, Kamala is much better. Big Bo, this is what I'm saying, dude. Like, it's okay to vote for a woman. It's fine. It's not going to affect your man. It's not going to affect your manhood at all. It's not. I swear to God, it's not. Your friends will probably still be your friends. It'll be fine.
Look, y'all, see, the problem is just because somebody says they're voting for Trump, y'all just automatically as a group go,
that's not what happened.
Because it's a woman.
Big Bo, that's not what happened.
Dude,
you said my number one reason for voting for Trump, because we talked about other things that you agree with. And so you're like, okay, but my number one reason is wealth redistribution. And then you said, I didn't like how the banks got all this money after 2008. And now you voted for wealth redistribution from the middle class to the wealthy. So I don't think you're telling that's why I say, like, every time we get to the point, you're on the wrong side of it and you still vote for Trump. I'm honestly, like, I'm left with Democrat and woman. Those are basically the only reasons.
It's got nothing to do with woman, skin color, race, religion.
It doesn't have to do with policies either. So what does it have to do with? Because the policies that you're advocating for, you line up with her. So if it's not policies and it's not skin color, it's not gender, what is it?
It's exactly what I said. I don't really know how to explain it to you to make it make sense, but I don't agree with banks being bailed out, and I don't agree with the lower class being lied to just assume they'll vote for something free and they never get it.
That's not what's happening here. First of all, it's not what's happening. But second of all, the thing that you hate when they're just bailing out rich people, that happened under Trump in his first term, and it would happen under his second term. They're just why the fuck do you think he, like, the whole group, he just surrounds himself with ultra rich people, scammers too, like Elon Musk. Elon Musk literally has been running pump and dump schemes for the last 5 years in crypto. Donald Trump made his money running pump and dump schemes. JD Vance is connected to Peter Thiel and all the other crypto bros and Vivek. And what do they all do? They run pump and dump schemes. You have the scammers, the rich, the people who got rich by scamming, all in a room together, and you're going, they're going to do this shit for the middle class, man. This are people. And they're all men. They're all white men except for Vivek, who's kind of been kicked to the curb. They're all just white dudes lying to you. And because they're white dudes and they're lying to you, you're cool with it. But Kamala, even though you agree with Kamala, you're like, I think she might be lying though. So I'm not going to vote for her because I think she might be lying too. The guy that's obviously lying to me, I'm going to vote for him.
I don't know if he's lying or not.
Of course he's lying. What are you talking about? Did he win the election in 2020?
I'm saying that when his 4 years was pretty good for me.
No, it wasn't. You're telling me
it was good for me.
You're telling me like December of 2020 was good for you?
I'm telling you, through his 3 years before COVID hit, life for me was good.
Yeah, those.
It's still good, but it was good.
The first year you were under Obama policies. The second year, you were mostly under Obama policies except for a tax cut. The third year, things leveled off and we were headed for a recession. And then Donald Trump got his ass saved by COVID because things were taking a turn and he got to blame it on COVID instead. So you're talking about 1 year of Obama followed by 6 straight years of Obama of economic growth, which you probably did well during those years too. And you're giving all the credit to Trump. We basically had 1 year of Trump policies. And everything just kind of leveled out.
Well, that 1 year was good if you wanted to keep
it was
that
okay.
1 year.
No, it was okay. It wasn't even that good. Obama had much. There were years that Obama had that were much better. There are years that Biden's had a better year than that. Like, no, it wasn't anywhere near great. But again, dude, you're just like statistically, all your arguments are wrong. Why can't you just say, I got lied to? Is it just a pride thing?
Nah, I don't.
Well, then why do you let yourself get lied to? I'm not getting lied to. I'm not being lied to. The people Kamala Harris is not lying to me.
Dude.
She's not. What's she lying about?
What she said last night. She don't even know what she said last night.
You don't know what
Trump.
Just because you don't know what she said doesn't mean she doesn't know what she said. I watched you comment. I watched you comment last night, and your commentary to me came off as somebody who was trying to find the negative in everything that she said. You're not open-minded about her. Tell me what she said last night. Tell me what she said last night that was wrong. That was a lie. Because I pointed out like 5 lies Trump told last night. Could you come up with one that she lied about?
Not off the top of my head. If I thought about it, I don't really retain.
It's just feelings, bud. Like, these are just feelings. You've been conditioned. I came out of a cult, and there's still things that I find out about myself that I was conditioned to believe that aren't true. But you've just been told the same thing over and over and over and over. And because you're a low information voter, not saying you're dumb, but you don't like consume information, you don't fact check, because you're a person who doesn't require a lot of data, it's easy to manipulate you. You're a very easy person to manipulate. And you're loyal, which is your loyalty is probably a strength in most of your life, but your loyalty in this case is what allows you to be manipulated. If Kamala Harris tomorrow came out, if there was a video tomorrow of Kamala Harris of her saying what like any of the things that Donald Trump has said about women, if I found out she was being paid by Russia, that's the end. I'm done. I don't care. I'm abandoning her immediately. But every time this guy gets caught doing something fucked up, somehow you guys all have been conditioned to your knee-jerk reaction is it's not true. And so you just don't ever go any further, and then you just allow yourselves to be lied to. It's so like, it's so the opposite of the American spirit. Like, we used to pride ourselves in America on being free thinkers. We used to pride ourselves in America on progress. And somehow the America First Party has been the party that's like, force feed me information and we will repeat it all day long and we will never concede a single point.
I mean, so you don't believe that the media twist stories?
Of course they do. But I know when they're twisting them. You don't. I can tell.
I mean,
I do the research necessary to figure out when they're twisting them. What you do is you say, the media is twisting narratives, so we can't believe the media, so I'm just going to believe what I want. It's a lazy way out of this. Instead of you going and figuring out what stories are true or not, the lazy way out is to be like, everybody lies, so fuck it, I'm going to believe what I want anyways. That's basically the entirety of the GOP. Fuck it, I'm not doing the research, I'm just going to believe what I want.
No, but I mean, where you do your research and look for evidence is opposite of where I look and look for evidence.
Look at what I played today. Almost everything I've played today, almost everything I've played today is literally Republicans speaking. Just videos of Republicans. I'm not reading, I haven't read a single opinion article. I haven't pulled articles explaining what happened. Everything I've shared today has literally just been a video of a Republican saying something. Nothing I've put up today can be disputed. It's all them speaking.
Yeah, but even with the clips you're playing, like what's your whole goal behind the clips you're playing?
I want people like yourself, and I don't think it's working with you, but I want people to recognize that, one, they're being lied to, and two, that the rhetoric and the way that they're being lied to mimics all the fascist movements we've ever seen. It is, if he's not a fascist, he just stole their playbook. And I want people to recognize that. And I want people to stop being okay with being lied to. Donald Trump lies all the time. And when we say this, everybody's like, all politicians lie. And I give everybody the same challenge that I gave you. Give me a lie that Kamala told.
All right, here's a lie. She's going to give black males 50 grand to start a business. That's a flat out lie.
That's not, she didn't say that.
She said she's
I agree with you. I agree with you. That is a flat out lie because she didn't say that.
Look, she's torn that community based off of what she's doing.
Excuse me. She didn't say that.
She has said it.
When?
She said she was going to do, it was like 3 things for the black male voters.
What's the $50,000?
It was like a business thing or something. I don't remember.
Why do you think it's black men? Why? In fact, I'll just tell you. Here's what happened, Big Bob. She talked about I'm gonna explain actually what happened to you. There is a provision that she's advocating for that either first generation home buyers or people who are starting a business, that they can get money from the government. And in some instances, historically, if your family or your community has been not able to create generational wealth, you might get more benefits than others. But the reason you're saying black men is because Republicans are going around saying that she's trying to win back black men who have went to Trump. And just in that argument, knowing what the actual what she's actually advocating for and what you're saying tells me 2 things. Number 1, you guys are aware that some black men like Trump. And number 2, you seem to think business owners in the black community would only be men.
No,
I'm not assuming anything. But she didn't say it was for men. It's not for men. So why did you say black men? You said she promised to give black men $50,000. You just did misogyny and racism at the same time.
No,
because that's how it's, and I don't think it's your fault. That's how they frame it. That's how the message comes to you. The message comes to you in this package that says she's trying to win back black men, which is one place that Trump folks think that they've done well, which is crazy because, like, even best case scenario, they have 20%, which is a very low number. 20% of black men. That's the other side has 80. I don't know why you would brag about that, but the message came packaged to you that way. so that you can say like, look, Trump's doing well. Look, they're scrambling. They're making up these policies to try and win back these voters. But that's not what happened. They just have to package it that way so that you have a way to discredit it.
I mean, my personal opinion is that community is waking up and they're tired of being lied to.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what? You don't.
And I'm
You know
proud
what?
of them.
No, wait. Listen.
I'm ready for them to wake up.
Hey, listen. You don't know. I don't know. I hate to break it to you, but we're both white. And when you say I'm proud of them for waking up, it's it's assuming that you've got the answer right.
I'm just saying.
No. Wait. You're proud of people voting for Trump, and you say for waking up. Those people are also being lied to. You're proud of the dumbest group of people. You're proud of the other people who don't need information, who don't need statistics, who don't need data, but can be easily swayed by stories. And you're like, I'm proud of them. Are you fucking kidding me? Bro, you're saying like black people are tired of not having the Democrats help them. Fine. So they should vote for the people who want to do nothing for them. That's what you're advocating for. The whole Republican ideology is tear down the Democrats. Now, we're not going to be better, but we are going to point out that Democrats don't always come up or don't always fulfill their promises. But even you saying this, even you saying that this was about black men and that you're proud of black men now for standing up and voting for the GOP, on its face, what you're doing is racism. You're saying that only a small amount of black people are smart enough to look past the DNC and see that they're being played. A small percentage, at best case scenario, 20% of black men. All the rest of black people are fucking stupid. No, that's effectively what you're saying. You are. You're saying that you know what's better for black people. You know what's best for black people better than the overwhelming majority of black people. And the only people that are getting it right are this fringe minority of younger black men. They've got it right. The rest of black people are just dumb. They don't know.
No. You're trying to get points here on this discussion, and I'm being sincere about what I'm saying, but you're trying to make a mockery out of it.
I believe you're being sincere. I don't believe that.
That's not what I'm saying.
I believe you're being sincere. I don't think that you understand the impact of what you're saying. I'm trying to help you understand the impact of what you're saying.
Jay, think about it. If you make an investment and the investment loses and costs you money over and over and over, I would be proud of you for making a different investment.
It's not,
whether it works or not, try
so what,
it. Give it a
how are you
shot.
wait, how are you relating that to this?
For years, the Democratic Party has just assumed they had that vote.
Why?
They've had it, so that's what they assume.
Why? Okay, so why did they have the vote?
Because they're telling them, "Hey, come over here. I'll do."
See what you're doing. Wait. I just want to be clear here. I asked you why they had the vote. What you could have said is because black people believe that the Democratic Party is a better party for them. But what you said instead is they're all tricked. They're all too dumb to figure it out.
And I'm not just solely including blacks. I'm talking
no,
Hispanics,
we're talking about black people right now. Let's not shift. I want to stick to this. I asked you why the DNC historically has had a high percentage of black voters. And you said because they lied to them. Do you see why? Do you see why? See, when I say to you, Big Boat, that the reason you're a Republican is because you're being lied to, I am calling you dumb. And I am calling all of MAGA dumb. And I am calling all of them lazy. Okay? I mean it. I'm 10 toes down. I'm standing on it. So 10 toes down, are you standing on black people vote for Democrats because they're all dumb?
No.
Okay,
absolutely not.
Well then what are you saying then?
It's no different than why Republicans go back so far and Democrats go back so far.
Republicans' roots trace all the way back to the South and slavery.
So when you were raised different than how you are
Yes,
now.
I was raised by
correct?
racists. Yeah, I was raised by racists.
You've made decisions that you felt was better for you, and you're happier.
You broke up.
Call coming in. Sorry. You've made decisions that you felt was best for you to make yourself happier. And look,
yep,
you're doing good. You've made great choices. Okay.
What does this have to do with the conversation?
The conversation is, it's instilled in people. This is how you vote. This is how you vote. This is how you vote. This is what you do. Don't
No, it's
believe
instilled.
this.
No, it's
This
not.
party
Wait,
is
wait. But you can say that all you want. You can say that all you want. But I'm asking you, because you said that only this small percentage of people who left the DNC and are following Donald Trump, you're proud of them because they figured it out. What is Donald Trump going? What is Donald Trump like? Let's just say that you're right. They figured it out. What is Donald Trump going to give to young black men? Like not like hand out, but like what does a Trump how does a Trump presidency benefit young black men?
Look, first off, I don't think it's the young black men. I think it's the older black men.
Well, statistically, that's not statistically Republicans wouldn't tell you that that's who they feel they're winning over, but
I think it is, personally.
I don't care. Well, but statistically, okay. So either way, what policies is Donald Trump going to put in place that would make life better for just any black man, then young or old?
I think overall, economically, it works for anybody.
It doesn't.
And it's better.
It doesn't, because Biden has Biden's unemployment lowers were number. Or his unemployment numbers were lower. Guys, please, hold on one second. Guys, in the chat, I understand. I don't know that we've talked to Santana before. I haven't talked to Santana. If you've been here before, we do one-on-one. When somebody gets stuck, I don't bring somebody else up. It's just what we do. I apologize. I'm sure Santana is great, but like this is the part of the reason we can have this conversation, me and Big Boat, is because we've built we've had discourse in the past, so we can have this conversation, and I think it's headed in a good place. So I want to keep it here. So I apologize. Go ahead, Big Boat.
Look, ask the truck drivers. Ask
about
the community of black and Hispanic truck drivers.
About what?
About how better and stuff was for them back 4 years ago.
Why was it better 4 years ago?
You tell me.
So you don't even know. See, this is the problem. You don't know.
Because the economy was better.
What was better in the economy?
Why.
What was better in the economy?
It was better. Stuff was cheaper. It was easier. People were relaxed. Look, I think the Dems have really shit the bed when it comes to foreign policy.
Brother, you can't explain any of this. You're just saying you should listen to truckers. Why? I don't know. You want to know where are truckers having their most problems? What state?
Dude, it's a national thing.
What state are they having most of their problems in?
Nationally.
What state?
All the states.
What state? You know the answer. Don't run from this.
I don't know. Right now, I'm here in Texas. It's pretty tough.
Florida, and Texas, red states. Weird, right? You know what they're complaining about? You know what all of these truckers are complaining about, and why if a trucker is voting for Trump, I will say to the trucker, you also don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because what the truckers all have an issue with is that the companies they work for made record profits and their wages didn't go up. Now, Trump's going to cut the taxes for those business owners. Trump's going to cut the taxes for these massive corporations. And we already know that's not going to trickle down. So I would say to those same truckers, with all due respect, your expertise is in trucking. Your expertise is not in policy. My expertise is far higher than a trucker who's saying, hey, I'm tired of my company not paying me more, so I'm voting for Trump. Yeah, they just don't understand it.
Look, if the economy goes up, it's easy, man.
What do you mean the economy goes up? What does that mean?
Look, when people spend more money, more money spent down and down and down.
They won't get more money to spend, dude. If you cut taxes for the billionaires, it doesn't trickle down. It never has. We have 50 years of data on this. If you take all of our years of data for the entirety of our country doing trickle down economics, it is a categorical failure. It did not work. It's still not working. And you and Republicans are still saying, it's going to work. Just give us 50 more years. We promise it's going to work. And meanwhile, billionaires are getting more and more rich. You got Elon Musk out there, the richest man in the world, who has made almost all of his money off of the backs of me and you and the taxpayer and government handouts. And he's up there saying, like, we got to cut waste in the government. And we got to cut regulation, by the way. This system's not working. Bro, you are the richest man in the world, and you got there on government handouts, and you're telling us, like, we need to remove the barriers that stand in your way? You out of your fucking mind?
Look, Jay, I was trying to explain to you how the trucker things work.
They're wrong.
When the money's flowing, when the money's flowing, just let me finish. I won't take long. When the money's flowing, there's more money being spent on freight. There's more goods being moved east to west, north to south. And guess what that in turn goes to? Higher freight rates per mile the truckers are getting.
Yeah, and guess what? And Kamala has a plan to get the money circulating again. And Donald Trump doesn't. You know what it would do to the middle class if you freed up, let's say you have 2 kids and it frees up $7,000? Now you have $7,000 more in the middle. All these middle class families have an additional $7,000, and then they're going to spend that, and that's going to go into the economy, and that's going to circulate. And all these middle class people who start a small business and get $50,000 to start that small business, they also generate revenue that circulates. And first-time home buyers also generate revenue. And people who historically haven't had homes and have no generational wealth start creating generational wealth. Her plan gets the economy moving. Donald Trump's life, you can see the fucking chart. It takes 9%. It's a 9% drop on our GDP. And even in this 9% drop, the middle class is fucked, the poor are fucked, the rich get richer. And you're out here every day like, yo, we got to give those rich folks more money.
Look, let's say they give a million people $50,000 to go start a business. How many in 2 years still have a business?
Sorry, I was reading something. What'd you say?
If Kamala, my bad. If Kamala gives 1 million people the 50 grand to go start a business, in 2 years, how many people still are in business? Less than 5%. Easy.
Excuse me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Where are you pulling that number from?
No, I'm just saying that is not a statistical number because it hasn't been done yet.
It's not a statistical number. Wait, so you just made it up? You just made up 5%, and then you're like, yeah, it's just made up.
Listen.
Brother, it's not. You understand? It's not a. You understand? This isn't like a check for 50 grand, right?
Look, it's the same concept in my opinion on student loans.
No, this isn't a loan. This isn't a loan. Wait, brother, this is not a loan. This is not a check. It's just a tax credit.
I know, but Jay, realistically, $50,000 isn't shit in a bucket for starting a business.
Sure it is. What are you talking about?
Rent. What's rent? What's rent in Arizona?
I don't know. You can probably get a place for, I mean, depending on what size business, but between $2,000 and $4,000.
Yeah, power bill. Then you got to get product, equipment stuff in there. You got to have hourly wage.
Oh, so you would think it should be? So it should be more.
No, I'm saying you can't do nothing to start a new business with 50.
Listen, I've started 5 businesses in my life, and not one of them took anywhere near $50,000 to start.
You probably started something that you didn't have money invested in it to get started.
I don't know. What is it? What?
Bakery.
Of course. Yeah,
you can't start a bakery without money. You can't start.
But you could start a bakery with 50 grand.
Dude, insurance and liability and shit's gonna kill them.
Yeah, but do you think that the reason that they're giving a tax credit is to like pay for their business, Or do you think it's to give or do you think it's to make it easier?
It's to help at the end of the day.
It's to make it easier.
Tax time.
It's to make it easier, right? The reason the reason a lot of businesses fail is because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get your foot in the door. And if you had a $50,000 tax credit after your first year of business, you can probably extend your business a little longer, get more customer acquisition. And the reason that Republicans oppose all this stuff, and the reason Republicans don't do this, is because they've got a bunch of corporations breathing down their neck saying, hey, don't let these small businesses compete with us. We don't want to have to buy. We don't want to have to buy. Yeah. And so you're voting for the guy who wants to make sure that small businesses cannot compete.
No, I'm saying that 50,000 one time. I mean,
yeah, so we should do it more often. I agree. Give middle class people a bigger credit. I agree. But you're still voting. But you're still voting for the guy who says fuck them. Let's give the break to the rich people.
My whole point is she's not going to do it.
Well, Congress has to do it. So it depends on how many people vote and how many people and how many people. Yeah, and if we could get people like yourself to vote for what's best for the country and not what's best for I don't know, your reputation where you live. I don't even know why you're voting for Trump. Every time we bring up a reason that you're voting for Trump, you run from it. But yeah, if we got more people voting based on data and based on what was true, yeah, we could do a lot more in this country. But it's going to start with a bunch of people realizing that voting for a career criminal con man who's just going to give tax breaks to the people who donated to his campaign isn't going to fix a goddamn thing.
Hey, maybe not. I don't know. I just got to roll with my gut.
No, stop using your gut. Guts don't think. I don't know if you know how the human body works. There's something inside of your skull. It's called a brain. And what you can do is you can learn new things, and then your brain rewires itself with that new knowledge, and you can make better decisions. Yeah, what it would take is, instead of spending so much time, Big Bo, and I enjoy conversations with you, but instead of spending so much time debating, you could spend a quarter of that time and research some of this, and you could have good information, and you wouldn't have to be just like this guy that's so cucked to Donald Trump and he can't even figure out why.
It's not Trump. I've told you it's not Trump.
No, it's Trump. It's Trump.
Dude, I already told you Santos was my guy.
Yeah, DeSantis copied Trump. He literally stole his whole playbook. It's Trump.
Hey, either way, look, I've enjoyed this conversation.
All right, brother. Be better, though. Stop.
Look, every time we chat,
stop voting against your best interest.
Look, every time we chat, I feel like somewhat I'm a better man, Jay.
Well, I hope so, but I do want you to start voting better.
And I also want you to know, next time I have my hoodie on when we conversate, I'm going to put my camera on so everybody can see that a Republican guy supports RTP.
I did see that you did actually make an order. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I got a black one. Black's my favorite. I wear black clothes all the time. Like 80% of my clothes are black. Love black clothes.
Johnny Cash over here. All right, brother. Well, have you voted already? I can't remember.
No. I like to go stand in line. You know what's funny? One more thing. I heard this white lady talking about, man, it's funny that this one community had to go to the police department to vote. And she was kind of making a joke about it. This is true, all right? The town I live in is probably 90 white to 10 black. Guess where our voting booth is? At the only black church in town, which is so perfect because it like matches up differently than what she was saying.
Well, you should, when you're standing in line, you should tell people your thoughts on how all black people don't know how to vote. You should.
No, I'm going to have my RTP hoodie on.
All right. Okay, dude. We'll see you.
See y'all. Yeah, man.
All right. There we go. He's a dingy. Let me read comments real quick. Amber says Republican ran states receive the most handouts. Facts. Yeah, especially in the South. Michael said, weird, you keep saying daddy when he said dad. Sorry, was I giving you an erection? Big Boat is no longer my guilty pleasure. He's a fascist. That's from Wasn't Me. Jumar says, black people don't need you to speak for us, Big Boat. Shout out. Jumar Brandon says, "Stop wasting breath on Big Boat. Worse than Clint." Yeah, look, this is my job. If I only spoke to reasonable people, we would never have any debates at all. So that's how it has to go. Toby says, "Every time Tugboat speaks, we all get a little bit dumber." It's not nice. Sal says, "My gut doesn't think, but maybe you can come and rearrange it for me." Jesus Christ. They call me the kingpin of pump and dump schemes. Yeah, that's the whole crew. The whole pump and dump crew is just at the top of the ticket. Jennifer said, "Please set Big Boat adrift." Big Boat, you did not. Did not go well for you. Angela says, "I pray the Holy Spirit comes inside of you and then inside of Purdy. Maybe then he shall stop throwing interceptions." Oh, that would be great. Maybe that's all we needed. He's Christian. He's super Christian. He needs to make that prayer. Michelle said, "Thought you were going to clap that ass." I don't know what that's in reference to. Did I get all of them? All right, I think I got all of them. Let me do the math real quick. There we go. All right. Let me make one change here. There's a video. I was going to show you guys that video today, and now we get to adjust it. Perfect. There we go. At least Big Boat doesn't scream and say slurs. Yeah. He's the most frustrating person that I talk to, just because like it feels like he's on the edge, like he's right there, and I've never figured out if there's like a real chance of him like being a little enlightened to this idea that he's been programmed, or if he's just a really good actor. It's one of those two things. I'm not sure which one it is. Let's get back to the outline. This I saw today. This was interesting. Now, this is a limited sample size, so I want to be careful with this in making a prediction. This is a sample from Colorado, Georgia, Idaho, Michigan, North Carolina, and Virginia. But what we know is that Trump struggles with the gender gap. In those states, women voters make up 54% of the voters. If that number applies across the country, and people vote like we think they're going to vote, that's a huge problem for Trump. And I mean a huge problem. We're talking about like blowout territory, especially because some of these are like Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina. Those are swing states. Sorry, I can't make it. It won't go any bigger there. Let me see. I guess I can. I'm only gonna do it there. It won't even let me. Yeah, it's as big as it's gonna let me get. Sorry. Now I got to take it back down to. Why is it getting bigger? That was weird. That is so weird. Anyways, there's the gender pay. Thank you, whoever that new subscriber is. We like it bigger. Get it together. Get it together. All right. I covered that. Covered the betting markets. All right, this is the other thing I wanted to explain. While we take it, this will give me a chance to get a drink anyways. This is an older video, but we were going through like Trump's plan. The month after the presidential and looking at the rulings in Georgia, where now they've said like, yeah, we're not going to force the hand recount. It looks like a lot of the courts are standing up in these states where Trump and his folks are trying to steal an election again. I didn't remember seeing this. This is from Anderson Cooper earlier this year, and this was I believe he was the chair of the Wisconsin GOP, big Trump supporter. You'll see Trump shout him out a bunch of times here, talking about like how they were lied to when they were fake electors. So I'm going to play that.
The story will continue in a moment.
I love that you can stop spamming the same thing. Fruna, Progress 2028 is a fake. It's a fake manifesto from Harris, and it was financed by Elon Musk. I don't know if you are on which side you're on there. I hope you didn't believe it. It's an obvious hoax, but that's what that was. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just wasn't 3 ruling that in Wisconsin, the Trump campaign was trying to throw out hundreds of thousands of votes, predominantly in black communities, and it almost it was close. It was 4-3. this is why I think a lot of us are so much more fearful of a Trump presidency, because what we've seen is that Republicans have done a good job of feeling state legislatures and packing courts, and that's what gets scary. Like, that's a 4-3 decision. Fucking crazy. That's conditioning right there, and that shows like the level of pressure that's put on him. I knew it wasn't real, right? I didn't agree. I didn't see any evidence, but if I was wrong, Trump wouldn't be president and everybody would be upset with me. That's how the fascist takeover happens. That's why there's only a handful of people during this attempt at a stolen election that stood in the way, and all of those people are gone now. Like, none of those people exist in government anymore. They've all been run out. Like, Trump and the Republicans ran all of them out. All the way down to things like Stephen Richer here in Arizona, like the county recorder who was an elected Republican got run out by the Republicans for standing in the way of stealing an election. They're all terrified of this. Like this like love for Trump. The reason it feels North Korea-ish is because all of these people are mostly fearful. It's just they're all terrified, and they see that Trump wrecks anybody that comes in his way. He destroys their career, and they're like, I don't want to be in the way of that. I don't want my career destroyed.
Good.
Same thing. The gatekeepers Auschwitz. Yeah.
They don't do it.
Yeah. That was part of the thing at the concentration camps when we had the Nuremberg trials. People were like, well, what was I supposed to do? If they would have either removed me or killed me, and then somebody else would do it anyway. So some of you guys saying that cop is a boss, like, yeah, he is. But like, that's the thing about cults, is that to everybody else, the cult looks crazy. And to the cult, everybody else looks crazy. And that's why people can, like Big Boat, can get up here and they can be like, yeah, look, I know everything we're saying is crazy, but you guys are just as crazy. And then you're like, give us an example. And they can't. But that's the mind control that happens within a cult. I promise you, 10 years ago, I was 100% convinced that every person here that isn't Mormon wanted to, if they could, that they would end my life, that they would remove me from the country, that they would kill my religion. I believed that with all my heart, that every one of you was my enemy. Now, it was my goal to go out and change your mind. It was my role to go out and do that and to live in this country. But ultimately, my belief was everybody's after us. And if somebody gets to know us and they don't like us, they are the enemy. They are anti-Mormon. It's how it works, but it's not positioned in that way. It's not sold to you in that manner. It's sold in stories and over, like being told about all the times that Mormons had conflicts with the local government as they were moving to Utah. And then you find out, you're like, oh yeah, wait, you mean the police showed up because they destroyed somebody's business? Oh wait, the police showed up because they were marrying child brides? Oh wait, the police showed up because they were trafficking people from other countries under false pretenses, and they were getting here under those false pretenses, and they'd already been assigned a husband? Like, then you find out the real story. But I didn't even find that shit out until I left. There was no access to it. I didn't even know that it existed. All I knew is that if people said stuff bad about the Mormon church, it's somebody told them to say that, and it's just a lie. It's what they're after. Like, they're led by the devil. They're lying about us. Anything that they say is a lie. Don't listen to them. And that's exactly what MAGA is. It's the exact same thing. What made me leave is, like, it's sad, but like, I really respected Mitt Romney. I really did. And I had a friend who called me who was like my most faithful Mormon friend. He's like, I don't believe it anymore. And so it gave me a little bit of permission to like start exploring. And at the time I was also like, I don't like Trump. So I kind of explored the two together of like, all right, I'm going to find out, like, I'm going to leave my my bias behind, And I'm gonna try and start from as much as I can from like square one, and I'm gonna follow what the data says, or I'm gonna follow what the best evidence says, and that leads you away from Republican, and it leads you away from being Mormon. They happened at the same time, but they happened in the exact same way. The hell of it is, like, people are far more upset about me leaving the Republican Party. Like, that's the people who in my life, their entire life revolves around the church, they say, but the thing that upsets them, the reason they attack now is like the Republican stuff. Or Trump's look, and it's not even like dense, like it just is what it is. When you believe in stuff that you can't see, you are conditioned. To any of my friends that are here today that are Christian, I think it's great that you have your faith, but as a Christian, you need to be aware that you are a little bit programmed to believe things without evidence. And so you need to be aware of that in your life. And I think ADHD, you tend to see things more black and white, like you have a hyper elevated sense of justice. So that probably helped too. But I do have to be conscious of that. I do have to be conscious of something like if somebody asks me a question and I'm giving them, oh, this is just like what I think, but I don't actually know. I can now catch myself, but that's all of republicanism. That's why these debates are so bad lately on TikTok, is because they don't actually have anything. They literally just have, oh, you guys are crazy. Everything's a conspiracy theory. All the stuff they say about Trump is a lie. The courts are against him. The government's against him. The lawyers are against him. The people are against him. The jury's against him. Everybody's just against him. And we're actually the truth seekers. We're actually the ones who can see through it all, which is literally what every cult has ever said. Every cult who at their end, they all say the same. Go watch, if you're a Republican, go watch cult documentaries. That might be the best thing you can do. And just see what happens when it's obvious to everybody around them that this is a cult. And they're like, no, you guys you hate me. You're like, no, we don't hate you. We hate your fucking cult. And to the Republicans there, I don't hate you. I hate your fucking cult. I really, really hate your cult. It's the shittiest of cults too. You're getting nothing out of it. There are no benefits to you. It's just a cult where like a bunch of rich people are going to get more rich. You're going to get more poor. And they're like, yay, we convinced them all to vote. All right. We'll finish this video tomorrow. There's another 6.5 minutes, but I'm at a hard cutoff. I got to go get my daughter. Thank you guys for helping me hit the donation goal. Thank you guys for being here, for all the likes, the new subscribers. I apologize. It's Santana if you're still here. I meant no disrespect there. I know some people would like to have representation come up, but that's just not how we do it. We just do one-on-one conversations, and so I apologize if anybody was offended by that. I meant no disrespect. Looking at who's live, I don't think we did Mishi. We've done. Will hasn't been live for a while. Ian, Ethan, Adorna. Is Adorna still live? Can somebody check and see if Adorna's still live? She is? Okay, let's rate Adorna. I love it. I've been told, Jones once told me that she was the smartest person on TikTok, and it's been hard for me to find somebody smarter. So I believe that. Let's go listen to Adorna. Tell her RTP sent you. I will see all of you tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9:30 a.m. to 1 Pacific Standard Time, right here on TikTok. You can find the replay of today's show and any other shows on YouTube at RTP-Talks. We have merch in our bio, which we learned Big Boat bought today. You can go to the link tree in my bio, get the merch. If you'd like an invite to the Discord, shoot me or any of our moderators a direct message. We'll get that to you. You can also follow me on Twitter or Instagram. Those links are in the bio as well.